If you never take the time, you never know what you will find. I'm a crow, I'm the mouse with the least to gain. Baby Mona Lisa in a power frame. You don't know me. I'm a ring on a tree in a life that fell. What I did, I done good, and what I done, I did well.
The following is a presentation of the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hello, Bulldog Nation.
Welcome to the Napa Tailgate Show.
A terrific day of football ahead.
Dogs need that kind of toughness in every game.
He's a big play kind of guy.
So much on the line, and the fans are ready for it.
It's going to feel like an earthquake.
This is the Napa Tailgate Show. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Today's show is brought to you in part by Comcast. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today. By Comcast Business, beyond fast. Georgia Farm Bureau, always the home team. By EasyGo, a new element of innovation. Georgia United Credit Union, the official credit union of Georgia Athletics. And by Kroger, fresh food, low prices. This is the Napa Tailgate Show.
Jarrett Lee, the quarterback, 3 receivers left and 2 to the right. They open up in an empty set. Dogs with a 4-man front. Shotgun snap to Lee. Looks to the left. It's intercepted! Intercepted by Darrell Gamble. Gamble at the 30, at the 20, breaks the tackle. Touchdown! Darrell Gamble, first play of the game. Takes it to the house.
Darrell Gamble with the first of his 2 pick-6 plays that helped the Bulldogs topple the then 11th-ranked LSU Tigers 52-38. 1 decade later, we're back in Baton Rouge for another matchup between 2 skilled, highly ranked opponents as number 2 Georgia takes on 13th-ranked Louisiana State. Hello, Bulldog Nation. From the field at Tiger Stadium, this is Neil Hondo Williamson. Joining me from the press box is the voice of the Dogs, Scott Howard. Sitting alongside here on the Georgia team bench, we're on the 41-yard line. It's the great Eric Zier. We'll get to today's clash of SEC Titans in just a moment. First, though, some news about our dear friend and colleague, Lauren Smith. Many of you have heard the news that Lauren received a battlefield injury this week at Georgia football practice. He is unable to join us here in Baton Rouge today, but we're delighted to welcome the unsinkable polymath of the Bulldog Nation on the phone right now. Lauren, first of all, tell us how you're feeling since the accident, the broken hip and elbow, then share with the audience how this happened.
Well, I'm doing extremely well, Neil. I have not missed a happy hour. And I have been proactive all my life, my adult life, at not letting happen what happened. And I went to practice Monday afternoon and go down to see my good friend John Parker, and he was on the west end of the indoor center, and I noticed the play before I was hit. They had an out-of-bounds play. The play took the ball carrier out of bounds. I said, John, we better move down here. We moved downfield about 20 yards, but the next play was a sideline out. And he came upfield with such alacrity. I started running, but I didn't run fast enough. I didn't take deep enough angle. So he and a defender collided with Parker, who hit me, and I hit the turf. And, wow, I had a broken hip as a result of all that. I was quite chagrined. I never thought it ever happened to me because I try to pay attention.
Oh, sure, I know. And you know, when you and I were first talking right after this happened, he said, Neil, I pay attention on the sideline. I was like, well, Lauren, I've watched my share of practices with you. I know you have to be alert down there because those guys are motoring at such incredible speed. Well, we miss you here in Baton Rouge, and we're glad you're doing well. I just saw Mark Bradley from the AJC up in the paper. He asked me to send you his best. He was sorry to hear what happened, and glad to hear you're on the mend. We wish you Godspeed, my friend, and glad that you're going to stay with us for the rest of the rest of the segment here and join us again later in the show. Lauren Smith from his home in Athens. I have to say, my friends, that in my 26th year as part of the Bulldogs broadcast team, it's odd not to have Lauren alongside with us, right, Scott?
Yeah, very much so. And Lauren, our best to you, and we're glad you're recovering, and we're glad to have you with us. So that technically you still haven't missed a broadcast in I don't know how many years. I mean, you've got a long streak going on here, so we're glad it can continue.
Yeah, Scott, no question about that. Lauren, great to hear your voice. Great to hear that you're okay and quickly on the mend and fighting through this as well. Great example that you're setting, regardless of the obstacle in front of you. Still here, still getting back to work as quickly as you are. There's no one in the Bulldog Nation that's more knowledgeable about Georgia football. No one more passionate or no one more deeply rooted just in the history of this great program. You're sorely missed here, but great to hear your voice. Great to be on with you.
I'm gonna be able to criticize the announcers after today. not the Georgia announcers, but the television announcers.
Oh, good. Well, let's get on. We know Lauren wants to move on. That's the way Lauren. He's like, hey, he's going to work on Monday, right? You're going to work on Monday, Lauren.
Right. It'll be business as usual come Monday morning.
Broken hip, total hip replacement. You are amazing, my friend. Well, let's move on to today's game because that's why folks are here for sure. Our Bulldogs shall be put to the test this afternoon in Death Valley.
Our tests are upcoming. I think we play some good football teams starting this week with what's an extremely physical, well-coached football team in a tough place to play.
Tough place to play indeed. Fellas, a worthy opponent and a frenetic atmosphere. Welcome to LSU.
Yeah, and Neil, it was, just driving into the place today, I was like, how early do these folks get here? I mean, it was crazy. Every parking lot was jammed, all the different smells in the air from whatever these folks are cooking down here. I don't even want to ask what's in the pot, but a great atmosphere just as you try to get ready for game day. It's a terrific place. A word that a lot of folks that I've talked to use over and over is unique. Even Coach Smart, in talking with him about this environment, and he was here for a year as an assistant coach, he described it as it's a unique setting. It's a unique place in the Southeastern Conference. Louisiana is just different from a lot of other parts of the South and in the SEC, and they love their football down here. There's no doubt about it. The stadium is kind of a tribute to that. This place is going to be loud today, but Georgia's been in loud environments before, and hopefully it's just another one that they'll be able to handle.
Well, when you drive down to the closed end zone, Hondo and I are sitting down here on the floor of Death Valley. As you go into the closed end zone, this has been renovated since we were last here in 2008, and it is a massive coliseum now. It is just, it goes and stretches up into the heavens. It feels like absolutely forever. So as you're going into the fully closed end zone, it is going to be loud. It is going to be very difficult to play. But this is why you come to the SEC. This is why you come to the University of Georgia, to come into stadiums like this, playing games like this, and then ultimately, if you're the Bulldogs, to shut these kind of crowds up very early in a football game and walk out of here victorious.
If you've been to Fenway Park and you have been down near home plate and been able to look up at the Green Monster and see how imposing it is for a pitcher, for a batter to see that wall, it feels like it's just sitting right on top of you, even though it's 3:15 down the line. That's what this new massive structure here at Tiger Stadium feels like. It just goes on forever. It reminds me of the wall in Game of Thrones, which is my second Game of Thrones reference this season, but it reminds me of the wall. It just goes up and up and up some more. For Georgia's young squad, 68% of our team is composed of freshmen and sophomores. Our gauntlet of 4 consecutive top 25 ranked opponents commences at 3:39 here in Baton Rouge.
You don't get weeks off in the SEC, and it's an extremely tough place to play. I think you saw that last week with the teams that played on the road in our conference, and we're going on the road this week.
There's Coach Smart again. And Lauren, Scott, any worries about the maturity level of this squad being able to handle Death Valley, noting that we did commit 13 penalties last Saturday in our friendly confines between the hedges? Lauren?
Well, Neil, I think look at that like Jack Nicklaus. Jack Grout knew that Jack was a special talent. The first thing he had to do, though, was get him to become disciplined about certain fundamentals, and that's where this team is. It's talented. It doesn't have a bad attitude, but it needs a disciplined attitude, and it needs a disciplined function. And Kirby has worked extremely hard, especially this week, in getting it. So I feel really good about the fact that this team got talent, is maturing, needs to win today, and I think it will begin to fall in place.
It's odd that on the Thursday night show, this very question came up for Kirby. And the way he answered the maturity question of this team was, he kind of scrunched up his face a little bit, and he said, I don't really know if this team is a mature team. He said, we have some individuals who have reached that maturity level at this point, but we still have others who are not quite there, and therefore the team as a whole is not quite there. And a lot of that does have to do with the discipline issue. And we saw that kind of rear its ugly head last week in the game with Vanderbilt. That was way too many penalties for any football coach to be readily to accept, and this coaching staff is no different. They worked on that in practice this week. That's a constant emphasis with this group: discipline, composure, and actually, Kirby told me that's a couple of his keys to this game today. To use an old phrase and a cliche there, but he wants this team to have composure today in a difficult environment, and they've got to play with discipline to have success against a good LSU team.
Good indeed. Eric, the LSU defense has slowed Miami, Auburn, Ole Miss, and Florida already this season. What's the game plan for Jake Fromm and company to succeed?
Well, I tell you, Hondo, it's an impressive defense, especially when you roll off the teams that they have already played. This LSU defense quickly, allowing only 17 points per game and 343 yards per game. They're allowing 120 yards on the ground, an average of 3.4 per carry. Pretty stingy through the air as well, only giving up 221 yards through the air. They've got 8 INTs. Opponents are converting only 34% of their third down opportunities against this defense, so they are immensely talented. On tape, they remind me very much of an Auburn defense from a year ago, that when we went into Auburn's place, into a very electric cloud, we got it handed to us a little bit. I think our game plan is going to have to be very similar. Establish the edge, get our running backs on the edge as much as we can, because running inside and in between the tackles to start this football game off will be challenging. There's no question about that. We've got to be able to protect Jake Fromm as well. This team, LSU defense, 13 sacks already on the year, so they can get after quarterbacks. And then we've got to be efficient in the quick passing game as well, and yet willing to take a couple of shots down the field early. We do those things, we're going to be okay. But establishing the edge, protecting the quarterback, and then being very efficient, getting the football out of our hands when we're throwing the football, of utmost importance today.
Well, it's been a challenging morning already. When we were at the team hotel, those of us who did not make the early trip over, there was a transformer blown in the neighborhood. At first, we thought it was just the hotel. Eric, you were in the shower when the power went out, right?
I was actually just getting out of the shower and getting ready to get dressed, and, of course, everything then goes dark.
Yeah, so I was down in the lobby already, and our team is there, and our team is going through meetings. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they had to abort from a meeting standpoint, from a film standpoint. We'll talk about that a little bit later because the power was out. We remained there for about a half an hour. When our Uber came, our Uber had a difficult time getting to us because all the traffic lights around us were out, which we didn't know at the time, and, of course, getting back out of the hotel neighborhood and over here to the stadium. As Scott mentioned, it's an incredible atmosphere here around the stadium, even very early in the morning. I'll tell you one of the differences. As you're walking in, and Eric and I walked probably the last mile and a quarter because we couldn't get near the stadium with our hired car, but as we were walking in, normally people say something like, hotty toddy or something if you're an Ole Miss, and a few people mentioned. Here, man, they're ribbing you. Now, it's good-natured, but they are ribbing you.
The one guy, as we were able to park pretty, in close proximity to the stadium, just a short walk into the stadium. But even that short walk, you've got people that are, they see your colors, they see your G, which a lot of us are wearing today, and one guy said you need to go in a different direction. He's trying to direct us away from the press box. The press box is over this way, and he's laughing, and they're making jokes about when we lose today, this is going to happen. You're going to need to say this when you lose, and It's constant. You're right about that. This is, and again, it goes back to that uniqueness, I guess, here. The fans are quite bold in what they say, and, sometimes, more times than not, they're able to back it up. Hopefully not today, though.
Yeah, Scott, it even extends beyond just the fans. As Hondo and I were on that 1.25 mile trek into the stadium, we passed, 5 or 6 police cruisers, right, Hondo? And as we're walking past them, one of the police officers inside the police cruiser gets onto his bullhorn or his radio and just, "Go Tigers. Go Tigers. You guys go back home. You guys go back home. You got no chance here." So even the policemen are involved in the ribbing action as you're making your way into the stadium.
Oh, it is a ton of fun indeed. And, we heard some of we're cooking up some Bulldog here on the grill, And very good. All right, fellas. Well, if you've never been to a game here, folks, in Death Valley, it is a treat. Tiger Stadium is going to be electric when we kick off at 3:39. Our engineer is Tony Schiavone, assisted by Chris Schiavone. The studio producer of the Bulldogs Tailgate Show is Zach Jewell. As a proud sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs, Napa Auto Parts can help your ride and your tailgate party go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. Going forward, our Bulldogs can actually afford to lose to either LSU or Auburn, provided we win our other 3 remaining SEC contests. So win 3 straight now, or lose today and win the next 3. Achieve either of those, and the Dogs will capture the SEC East. More to come from the Scana sideline in 2 minutes. The great Lindsey Scott, who silenced the LSU faithful with a thrilling kickoff return 40 years ago. He's next on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Napa know-how.
You're there every game, same time, same spot, sporting your team's gear and flipping burgers like the diehard fanatic that you are. And while every vehicle at the tailgate deserves quality parts and Napa know-how, none deserve it more than yours, the perennial tailgate champion. And with Napa know-how, you and your ride can go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, and proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Georgia peaches don't just come from Georgia. They come from farms in Georgia, worked by farmers, working hard to cultivate the crops that drive the state's economy. That's why Georgia Farm Bureau cultivates farmers, with support through advocacy and benefits that save families money, like home and auto insurance. Join online for just a couple bucks a year. Easy as peach cobbler.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Those Southern-raised, nationally acclaimed Georgia Bulldogs. The only thing better than being a legend is a Bulldog, and you're both. Whether you're in a classroom, a boardroom, resting your paws overseas, or in Sanford Stadium screaming your red and black hearts out, you are legends. Delta is proud to be the official airline of UGA Athletics, and we're ready to take you everywhere legends need to be. Now let's hear that chapel bell ring. Delta Airlines, keep climbing.
There's a common misconception that all chicken sandwiches from the South are the same. Cue Zaxby's new buttermilk and hand-breaded Southern Sweet and Smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, lettuce, smoky backyard sauce, and a potato bun. The other, a perfected classic with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Both served with crinkle fries in a 22-ounce drink. The Southern chicken sandwich will never be the same. Order ahead on Zaxby's.com or use our app to skip the wait. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
Perfect way to begin your Georgia football Saturday.
Kick is blocked! The kick is blocked! It's no good! It's no good!
Welcome back to the Napa Tailgate Show.
Conway kicks off for LSU. Lindsey Scott on the 1, the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20. There's a hole, the 25, the 30, the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50, the 45, the 40, 35, 30, cut on the 20, down the sideline, 5, 10, touchdown! Lindsey Scott, 99 yards. A guy got on his back on the 20 and he pulled his body away. Lindsey Scott out of Jessup, Georgia, 99 yards, Lindsey Scott.
1978. What a night. Georgia came into Tiger Stadium unranked. LSU was number 11. Eric Zier, Neil Williamson back from the Georgia team bench in Baton Rouge. This is the Napa Tailgate Show. And joining us now on the Bulldogs guest line is one of the heroes of that upset victory, one of the heroes of that season, one of the heroes of another season a couple of years later, the great Lindsey Scott. Lindsey, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. I'm doing great. I'm getting ready to watch these dogs this afternoon, so I'm doing great.
Good. It's mind-boggling to me to imagine that your magical run back occurred 40 years ago this week. Tell us about that game and that return, Lindsey.
Well, it was a middle return, and I was reminded last week I was in Athens, and Coach Whittemore was our special teams coach, but obviously Coach Dooley had seen something on film a couple of weeks earlier, and coming out at halftime, he approached Coach Whittemore and said he wanted a middle return, and we laugh about it because Coach didn't run no democracy. Coach pretty much, when he said he wanted something, he got something. So we had been working on that thing all week, that middle return. And, guys, that thing parted like the Red Sea. I mean, those guys, everybody, we got great blocks from everybody, but the middle of that field just parted like the Red Sea. And nobody touched me. Another player didn't touch me until I got around the 20-yard line. And I laugh sometimes because a lot of people say it was a stiff arm, but I switched from a right hand to my left hand the ball, and I gave him what they call the old dead shoulder. It was there and then it was gone. But we had a good time. But it was a great victory, and we were the wonder dogs in '78, and we had some great players. But that was a good senior late team, and we went in the Baton Rouge and got the big upset.
Well, I agree with you on how much of a hole there was for you to run through. I watched the replay again this week, and people should Google and pull it up because you can drive a truck up the middle of that, not to take away from your return. But that play on the 20 also, when you listen to the highlight, Larry has you practically tackled.
Right. And I laugh sometimes because I'm from Jessup, and it was an old move where he went from a shoulder. He actually went from a shoulder, and then it was there, and then it was gone. It was there, the shoulder was there, and then it was gone. And I was able to make that move at full speed and stay in bounds, barely stay in bounds, but he lost his balance after he tried to grab me, and I stayed in bounds, and I was able to take it the distance.
Well, Lindsey, you were a freshman at 78. We'll suit up more than a dozen of them tonight. Tiger Stadium, still a crazy place to play. What was it like that night in 78, Lindsey?
It was a big deal because as freshmen, you come in and you come into an atmosphere, and then you're going to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and there's some history there. I mean, it's you got your cages, you got this big stadium, you got the live tiger, and it's just an atmosphere that's probably unique to many in college football. But then again, at the same time, as freshmen, the thing the point you want to get to, can I really play in this league? So in your mind, you're confident that you can do that. Most guys are, but until that actually happens, that thought still lingers in your mind. But it'll be a great atmosphere. But these guys, I think traditionally Georgia's played well over there. So I believe these guys will be ready.
Lindsey, it's great catching up with you. We appreciate you taking the time, my friend. Come see us next time you're in Athens. We're doing a broadcast.
Go Dogs.
Always great. Go Dogs. Always great to talk to Lindsey Scott. Georgia and LSU collide today for the first time in 5 years. An interesting note about this series. Between 1943 and 1953, Georgia and LSU squared off 11 times in 11 seasons. Then we didn't meet again in football until that game when Lindsey Scott returned the second-half kickoff 99 yards for a touchdown en route to a fantastic upset in 1978. So 25 years passed before two teams from the same conference played each other.
Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. And Dog fans, join us every Sunday from 10 until noon live from the Hilltop Grill as host Jeff Gansler and Kevin Butler break down all of the action from today's game. Hilltop Grill, located at 2310 West Broad Street in Athens.
Bulldogs fans, shop the UGA bookstore for the best in Georgia gear. Shop all the great brands like Nike, Peter Millar, Tommy Bahama, Vineyard Vines, and Southern Tide. The UGA bookstore is located next to Sanford Stadium or online 24/7 at UGAbookstore.com. UGA Bookstore, it's where the dogs shop. All right, Eric Zier returns in minutes to talk about the Dogs' offense, including a healthy reemergence of DeAndre Swift and Terry Godwin. The Napa Tailgate Show continues in 2 minutes on the Bulldog Sports Network.
At Georgia Power, we're committed to providing clean, safe, affordable, and reliable energy. And for over 130 years, we've also committed to being stewards of the community. Last year alone, our employees volunteered over 147,000 hours of their own time, while the Georgia Power Foundation donated more than $1.3 million in scholarships to students across Georgia. These are just a few of the ways we're working to strengthen our communities in the place we call home. Learn more at georgiapower.com/community.
Coach Kirby Smart here. Let's talk about the official healthcare provider of the Georgia Bulldogs, Piedmont Healthcare. Piedmont makes sure that our dogs are playing their best, and they're also there for the times they're not. But you don't have to be a college athlete to get bumps and bruises. With urgent care, same-day appointments, virtual visits from your smartphone or desktop, and Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, they've got the care you need when you need it. Booking an appointment is only a click away. So for game day and every day, get better at piedmont.org/UGA.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
All right, we got the grill going?
Yep.
Dog flags up?
All 10. Cooler have ice?
Yes, sir. Stopped at the 76 station for gas, chips, and ice. Hey, Steve. Hey, Joe. You guys tailgating on a Wednesday?
Yep.
Nice.
Live every day like it's game day. Purchase 8 or more gallons of gas at your nearest participating 76 station and enter for a chance to win a 76 UGA Fuel Your Tailgate Game Day experience. 76. We're on the driver's side. Promotion valid from October 1st to November 16th. Full terms and conditions available at 76fuelyourtailgate.com.
Did you know termites can fit into gaps as thin as your fingernail? So why in tarnation would you trust bait stations that are spaced 20 feet apart? Neil Hondo Williamson here from my friends at Breda Pest Management. At Breda, every inch of your home is protected, and the annual renewal fee is locked in at under $200. Get better termite protection and more value, all for a better price with Breda Pest Management. BREDA Pest.com.
This is Georgia Bulldogs football.
35-30, he's got a convoy, he's got to go, touchdown!
Now back to more of the Napa Tailgate Show.
And they'll go for it, split backfield. Gerber stands between them on the far hash as they move to the left. Send a man in motion, handoff, Blassingame. He tries to bounce out to the right. We twist him down near the line of scrimmage. I don't know if he got it. I don't think he did. Jordan Davis, the big space eater, 6'6" and 320, wrapped him up around the waist and tried to sling him back.
I think it's safe to say after his last game, he's going to be definitely running with us a little bit more.
Senior defensive end Jonathan Ledbetter commenting on the critical fourth down stop last week by freshman Jordan Davis. Time for the Bulldogs in case you missed it. Presented by Ambetter. Better is taking care of my health. I read on Dog Nation this week that prior to the stop by Jordan Davis, Vandy had outgained UGA 168 to 117 yards. After that blockade, the Dogs rolled up 443 yards in total offense to just 150 by the Commodores. Let's check in with the Comcast Business Scoreboard. Vanderbilt, second quarter, leading Florida in Nashville 14-3. Minnesota, second quarter, leading number 3 Ohio State 14-10. Down on the plain, number 21 Auburn and Tennessee are knotted up at 10 each. They're also in the second. Second quarter score, Maryland leads Rutgers 17-0. Nebraska on top of Northwestern as the Cornhuskers seek their first victory of the season. They're up 7-0 in the second. Second quarter score, they're tied Oklahoma State and Kansas State at 3 apiece. And at the end of the first quarter in Atlanta at historic Bobby Dodd Field, It's our Bobby Dodd Stadium, Grant Field. Duke leads Georgia Tech 7-0. That's end of the first. In the first quarter, Boston College is on top of Louisville 14-0. That scoreboard update has been brought to you by Comcast Business Beyond Fast. Now here's Lauren with the Bulldogs Player of the Week, brought to you by Primerica.
Our Primerica Player of the Week this week, senior receiver Terry Godwin, a native of Hogansville, Georgia. He caught a pair of balls for 95 yards during the Bulldogs' 41-13 rout of Vanderbilt last week. As he continues to near 100%, Godwin hauled in a career-long 75-yard touchdown. He was part of a Bulldog offense that racked up 560 yards versus the Commodores. Terry Godwin, a big playmaker. A special thanks to Mike Burrows of Primerica for helping us honor a Bulldog Player of the Week each week. We go back over to Neil Williamson.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Bulldog Sports Network. Want to thank Chris Schiavone, who's down here on the field with us for all of our road games, making sure that we stay on the air. And anytime we have a little technical difficulty here or there, he is Johnny on the spot indeed. It's undefeated Georgia versus one-loss Louisiana State. SEC action that will affect the conference and the nation. Don't touch that dial. Eric Zier is in the on-deck circle, and Aaron Murray is in the hole from the Napa Tailgate Show and the Bulldog Sports Network.
I'm John Addison, a lifetime Bulldog fan, Georgia graduate, and the chairman of distribution for Primerica, the largest independent financial services marketing company in North America. Primerica is a Main Street company for Main Street families. We help people from all walks of life achieve their goals and dreams by offering common sense financial solutions to today's challenges. As a Georgia-based company, Primerica is proud to continue to sponsor Georgia football. Go Dogs!
Who's ready for story time?
Yay!
Once upon a time, there was this girl with a red hood going to Grandma's house, but the grandma was actually a wolf. And Red says, "Grandma, what big teeth you have?" The grandma wolf tried to eat her, but didn't. And the girl lived happily ever after. The end.
Make room for Sunday. Get every live game every Sunday on NFL Sunday Ticket when you switch to DirecTV. Sign up at directtv.com/NFL. More for your thing, that's our thing. Out-of-market games only. Select international games excluded. Requires choice package or above. 24-month agreement. Activation of the fees, terms, and restrictions apply.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Fast is the nation's largest gig speed network. Beyond Fast is the complete reliability of 4G LTE backup. That means whether you're downloading big files, swiping credit cards, or emailing your sales team or customers, your business can go on even if the power goes out. When you're a business owner, you need speed and reliability. For a limited time, make the switch to Comcast Business and get an amazing deal on fast, reliable internet. Just one more way Comcast Business goes beyond AT&T. Get started with 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month when you add 2 voice mobility lines. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 11/21/18. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment taxes and fees extra subject to change. Connection Pro backup limited to up to 6 hours.
Setting the table for Dogs football.
Bounces out right, still running. 10, 5, pylon, touchdown!
You're listening to the Napa Tailgate Show.
Man in motion to the near side, that's Hardman. Braun looks to the right, whips it back to the left to Swift. Wide open the left flat. Swift 30, 25, veers in, 15, 10, 5. He won't be touched. Touchdown! DeAndre Swift. Wide open in the left flat, and he just cruises into the end zone.
DeAndre Swift, 99 yards in total offense last week, 50 on the ground and 49 via the air, including that TD. This Georgia offense update is brought to you by UPS. Working together to achieve great things like the Bulldogs? That's problem solving. Visit UPS.com to learn more. The official logistics partner of Georgia Athletics. Hi, everybody. Scott Howard up in the booth. Eric Zier, Neil Hondo Williamson down here on the 41-yard line. And glad to see DeAndre Swift with the 100% nifty moves for the second consecutive outing last Saturday in Athens. Terry Godwin, Z, also looked quite healthy again, outrunning the Vanderbilt secondary under a Jake Fromm.
Yeah, no question. These guys are healthy. You can tell it just by their performances on the field, just how they're moving and running around. So great to have these guys back. And just in time, too, as we begin a tremendous gauntlet here of SEC play and teams ranked inside the top 25. And having these two guys back with the additional weapons that we've got on this football team just makes us all that much more dangerous on the offensive side of the ball.
Slow starts. The Dogs get off to slow starts. That's the latest complaint refrain from those always seeking perfection or else from the number 2 team in the nation.
Looking back at the previous game, we got to come back out and fix up what we messed up. I mean, we're starting off slow every game. We got to just fix that. We got to come out fast and be who we are, not let them dictate our plays.
They scheme up stuff to try to throw us off, and I think a lot of the teams have done a good job to this point. But once we've executed and done well, and made our adjustments, we really started rolling. But we definitely need to get out to faster starts and take other teams out of it early.
Isaac Nauta preceded by Terry Godwin. Z, is there a valid reason to think that Georgia is not performing up to capabilities from the opening kickoff? Is this a problem?
Well, let me put this in perspective. We have trailed this season by a grand total of like 10 or 15 seconds. So but put into comparison about how we're coming out in third quarters of this football game where we have been dominant, where every time we touch the football, it seems like we're getting into the end zone. Does our first half look like that? No, absolutely not. So is there room for improvement? No question there is, but I want to calm the rhetoric here some. Going into last week's game, we were one of 2 football teams that had never trailed in a football game this year. So the slow starts in comparison to the third quarter and to what we're capable of, yeah, there's room for improvement there, but it's not been a problem. Now today, on the other hand, we've got to come out like this is the start of a third quarter that we've had in previous games, because the one thing that you've got to do is get this stadium, get these fans that are going to be ramped up and riled up. They are ready to go. Get them out of the football game early. You don't want to get behind a buzzsaw here, so do need to start a little bit faster than what we have. Wouldn't classify it as a problem, though.
Eric mentioned that Georgia has outscored its opponents in the third quarter combined with the second quarter, so second and third quarters 161-34 this season. That's an average of 27-6. That's pretty good. Now, many of you recall that one of the chief complaints during 2016 and 17 was that UGA wasn't throwing to its tight ends enough. Well, after completing 20 passes in 15 games to tight ends last year, the Dogs have already connected on 17 tight end receptions in 2018. Eric, does that make you feel as though we're a more competent team this year?
I know. It makes me feel like we remain competent. We talked all last year about the reason that we're not going to tight ends is because of the defensive looks and the coverages, the schemes that we're going against that are forcing us to go, not forcing us, we're going to go to where the weaknesses of the defense predicate us to go with the football. No different last week. It's great to see our tight ends get involved. We are mighty talented there. We're mighty deep there as well. But we're not going to force the football to any player or any individual. It's one of the things when I hear broadcasters at any level talk about we're not getting someone the football. You don't make schemes. Now you can get personnel groupings where you want to try to get the matchups that you want, but if a defense is schemed up and against a certain play, it takes that play away or that individual away, you go to where the defense dictates all the time. We did it last week, just happened to be the tight ends. Doubt that we're going to see it a ton here today unless they come out and play a few different schemes than what they've shown. A lot of cover one from this LSU defense. That's going to give us one-on-one situations on the outside. We'll have some situations to get our backs, the football in the passing game. So it all depends, and it's all predicated on what defensive looks we're getting on where we want to distribute the ball.
All right, sounds like we're headed towards the perimeter. Thank you, Z. As a proud sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs, Napa Auto Parts can help your ride and your tailgate party go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. It is hot here in Death Valley. 81 degrees already, clear skies, high of 85 today, roasting down here on the field. Our second-ranked Bulldogs are on the road to take on number 13 LSU in one of the toughest arenas to compete in America. Death Valley and Baton Rouge, kickoff 3:39. The great Aaron Murray joins us in 2 minutes on the Bulldog Sports Network.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? You build capable, fun, and smart SUVs. SUVs like the all-new Ford EcoSport and the 2018 Expedition, named Best Large SUV for Families by U.S. News. And now is a great time to check out the full lineup of Ford SUVs. Find great deals and offers at your local Ford store or online at buyfordnow.com. America's best-selling based on 2017 calendar year sales. View U.S. News Best Cars at cars.usnews.com.
Everyone wants to give their kids the world, but sending them to college can seem overwhelming. I'm John Zeiser with Country Financial, and I get it. My wife and I graduated with college debt, and we didn't want that for our 3 boys, Anson, Paxton, and Hawkins. So we're taking simple steps to prepare them for college. And Country Financial can help you take simple steps too. Because whether you're our customer or our family, we want you to be successful.
Find an authorized representative at TakeSimpleSteps.com.
The Dogs are heard right here. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
You couldn't miss that wedding, birthday party, or whatever event you felt obligated to attend. So you missed the game. And more importantly, the game program. Not to worry. IMGProducts.net has got you covered with official programs and yearbooks from many of the nation's top schools, plus conference and NCAA championships. Visit IMGProducts.net to browse the hundreds of publications available. IMGProducts.net. We've got you covered.
Whoever said less is more hasn't spent enough time in the Southeastern Conference. Here, it's all about more. More techie, more frenzy, more friendly, more rowdy, more quirky, non-negotiable traditions, more time of your life, more ways to turn 120 credit hours into all kinds of open doors. More of everything the college experience is all about. Yeah, in the SEC, it just means more.
You're listening to Dogs Football. Now back to more of the Napa Tailgate Show.
Dogs trying to drive down the field and win the ball game. Murray in the shotgun with time in the pocket. Throws. There's Justin Scott Wesley. He catches it on the floor. Tiptoes into the end zone. Touchdown!
That was the game winner in a seesaw top 10 matchup between number 9 Georgia and 6th-ranked LSU just 5 short years ago. Welcome back to the Napa Tailgate Show. Your old buddy Hondo sitting along Eric Zeier on the Scana sideline from Baton Rouge. And joining us on the Bulldog guest line is the SEC career leading passer, 13,166 yards, the leading touchdown passer in the conference with 121, and one of the heroes of that scintillating triumph over LSU in 2013, Aaron Murray. Aaron, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's an exciting day, and I think everyone's looking forward to that 3:30 game.
Yeah, we're really excited. Now, that shootout in 2013 is one of the best football games many of us have ever seen, and I would put it, near the same level of excitement as the win over Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl and the Georgia victory over Georgia Tech in 1978. That was long before you were even a twinkle in your daddy's eye, we know. But, Aaron, how much fun was it to be part of that kind of a game that day?
I thought it was great. Probably for me, one of the best games that I've been a part of, especially in Sanford Stadium. A lot of great games, but that one's definitely at the top. It's just two top teams. It was early in the season. I think game day was there, 3:30 kickoff. And you just look at the rosters for both teams. I mean, obviously LSU, they had Manberger at quarterback. They had Odell, Jarvis. I mean, there was just so much NFL talent on that football team. And it was a shootout. Like you said, it was just back and forth the entire game. And it was going to be who was going to be lucky enough to get the football at the end. That last drive, Justin did a great job. And that cover 2 defense to find the hole between the safety and the corner, get open. And then the defense made a great stop to finish the game off. But the fans were electric. The atmosphere was incredible. Probably one of the loudest moments I've seen Sanford Stadium be. And it was a lot of fun. It's a game I always remember it. And hopefully today's another exciting game. I think it's going to be a close one, but hopefully the Dogs can pull it out.
Well, Jake Fromm has taken over the QB reins like a boss with the win last year at Notre Dame to a 6-0 start today. Eric and I get frustrated when we hear local or national pundits refer to Jake as a game manager. Your thoughts on our sophomore quarterback, Aaron?
Well, listen, this is going to be a great test for him. You look at so far this season, this team, especially offensively, has not been tested a lot. And I've been saying all week, I think he's completely underrated. People have not been talking enough about Jake Fromm, his accuracy. And for him, like you said, the moment's never too big. From going to Notre Dame for his first start, to the Rose Bowl, to the SEC Championship game, and even the National Championship game, the way he played in that game was phenomenal for a true freshman. And I think it's even better this year. You look at his understanding of the offense. He knows where he's going. His eyes are in the right place. His feet are in the right place. And I think people just say he's a game manager just based on the way the play calling has been. It's a heavy run-first offense, and that's what's going to be going forward just because of the offensive line, because of the talented running back. But I tell you what, if you tell me, hey, we're going to throw the ball 30, 35, 40 times this game with Jake Fromm, I'd feel very confident that we can go out there and score 40 points against anyone.
All right, very good. Aaron, tell us how your broadcasting career is going.
It's good. It's exciting, and I got a fun game tonight. I got Nevada and Boise State. Two teams had rough weeks last week, but very talented offenses. Obviously, we know Boise State and the noise they bring from the group of five each and every year. So it should be a fun game. It's a night game, so I get to sit around the hotel room all day. I'm watching currently Vandy in Florida and then Auburn in Tennessee, and then I get to see the Dogs at 3:30. So a lot of good early games, which makes my long day a little bit better. So I'm not too bored sitting in the hotel.
Super. Aaron, we know you're working today, but we appreciate you taking time to join us.
I appreciate y'all. Have fun.
All right, thank you. Aaron Murray on the phone with us here on our guest line, and we hope to see Aaron at a game soon. Versus LSU in 2013, Aaron passed for 298 yards and 4 touchdowns, including that game-winning toss to Justin Scott Wesley in the final 2 minutes. Thanks again to Aaron for calling in.
Dog fans, join us every Sunday from 10 until noon, live from the Hilltop Grill, as hosts Jeff Dantzler and Kevin Butler break down all of the action from today's game. Hilltop Grill, located at 2310 West Broad Street in Athens.
Dog Nation, for all your information needs, be sure to check on to GeorgiaDogs.com. From tracking event results to exclusive behind-the-scenes coverage, GeorgiaDogs.com has you covered. Also, be sure to check out the G-Shop for exclusive releases of Nike sideline official apparel, just like the coaches wear. Visit GeorgiaDogs.com and the G-Shop today. Coming up next, the voice of the Dogs, Scott Howard, and soon thereafter, Hall of Fame kicker Kevin Butler. Number 2, Georgia, 13th ranked LSU, 3:39 kick on the Bulldog Sports Network.
There's savings, and then there's big savings. The kind of savings you can always find at your neighborhood Kroger. With low prices and delicious choices, plus personalized coupons and ClickList to help you shop and save anytime from anywhere, so you get more for less at Kroger.
Say hello to new lower prices and weekly sale prices too, like red or white seedless grapes for 98 cents a pound with card. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
On game day, you are the MVP, Most Valuable Party Planner, because you've got Kroger on your team, and you save big on an awesome spread. Delectable dips, wings with a kick, savory sliders. Yep, you've got buffet bragging rights, and you're scoring with low prices. So get ready to savor victory with those delicious Kroger Game Day Greats, where food and fans unite. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
In football, a triple threat is a player who can do it all. For barbecue, Dreamland is a triple threat. You can dine in, carry out, or let us cater your next event. For the ultimate tailgating experience, nothing beats a rack of legendary Dreamland ribs with your favorite sides. If you got a taste for winning, treat your team to Dreamland. There ain't nothing like 'em nowhere. A proud supporter of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Indeed knows it's hard to find qualified candidates when you're hiring.
It's like finding a unicorn.
But when you post your job on Indeed, it's easy to find people with the skills you need.
Nurse practitioner, 4+ years experience, acute care certification.
Indeed has a huge pool of amazing candidates and screener tools that help you find your most qualified applicants.
Whoa, an entire short list of unicorns.
See why more than 3 million companies worldwide use Indeed to hire. Post your job at Indeed.com/hire. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Source ComScore total visits.
perfect way to begin your Georgia football Saturday.
Kick is blocked! The kick is blocked! It's no good! It's no good!
Welcome back to the Napa Tailgate Show.
This moment of commitment is brought to you by Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance, always the home team. The University of Georgia is committed to tackling the grand challenges of our time. Our researchers are working to improve human health, create a more secure future, and build stronger communities. We're driven to making discoveries that bring solutions to improve our world for generations to come. It's more than our mission. It's more than our passion. It's our commitment.
Moving to the left, play fake from. He'll set up in the pocket, all kinds of time to throw, going deep. He's going for Godwin. Godwin is there, over the shoulder catch at the 30, down to the 20, down to the 15, down to the 10. They tried to strip the ball. He stays on his feet. He avoids a man at the 3 and gets into the end zone. Touchdown on a terrific finish by Terry Godwin.
That was today's Make the Call presented by Ken Nugent. One call. That's all. And the voice of the Dogs, Scott Howard, rejoins us from Tiger Stadium press box. Scott, what a great play there by Terry Godwin, huh?
That was terrific. His finish was very strong. They tried to wrap him up high around the neck, and he just twisted the guy off and threw him to the turf and got into the end zone. That was great to see Terry back in 100% full form.
No doubt about it. And tell us about that 100% full form score from Nashville right now.
Vanderbilt 21, Florida 3 right now with a little less than 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. The Gators are just a little discombobulated today. Vanderbilt got off to a great start. Their very talented running back Keyshawn Vaughn, who my personal opinion is they should ride that horse until he can't ride anymore. He's an impressive back. He got off to a hot start today. Already had over 100 yards in the first half, and then was injured apparently. I don't know if it was a targeting play or something, but it's knocked him out of the game. So he is not in the game right now, Vaughn, for Vanderbilt. But the Gators are struggling to stay in this one here in the first half. They're down 21-3, getting late in the second period.
Well, here at Tiger Stadium, Scott Howard, give us a little update on the Dogs' injury report today.
Well, a couple of guys didn't make the trip. David Marshall is a concern for Georgia. The junior defensive lineman from Thomaston has a foot injury, unable to go this week, and did not make the trip. The Dogs only have 8 defensive linemen for this game available today. They've got Malik Herring, Jay Hayes, Jonathan Ledbetter, Julian Rochester, Michael Barnett, Jordan Davis, Mikhail Carter, and Tyler Clark are the defensive linemen that we have available today. So those guys are going to get a lot of work. Georgia has Adam Anderson, freshman linebacker, and Nate McBride on this trip. So they will provide some special teams help and maybe some help from plays from scrimmage as well for the Georgia defense. Offensively, we're still without Ben Cleveland. He's still a little while before he comes back. Solomon Kinley, good news, we saw him carted off last week against Vanderbilt. He was able to start practice this week, practiced well, Coach Kirby Smart tells me, and Solomon is ready to go today. So the offensive line is still in pretty good shape. Cade Mays in that right guard spot for Ben Cleveland, who is still out with an injury. But other than that, I think we've hit most of the high points there for Georgia.
All right, well, we need those big fellas up front to protect Jake Fromm and Justin Fields for sure. LSU with 13 sacks already this season. And remember, the Tigers have played 3 top 25 teams plus Ole Miss. That's some heady competition.
Jake took some shots in the last game. They both did. So, number one, we got to protect better. But they also both have to know when they're in vulnerable positions, meaning when they're getting pressured and they're not protected, they got to be ready to get rid of the ball. So that goes on both kids to try not to take the shots.
Coach Smart went on to discuss Justin Fields' maturity leap with his slide after a gainer during last Saturday's win over Vandy.
That was something that he really did on his own, made a decision to slide, and he'd made a good run. It was a good decision, so it shows that he's learning and maturing when it comes to that.
Yeah, and Fields we all know he's a good runner. We've seen his talent already. He's already rushed for 133 yards on 17 carries this season. He's averaging almost 8 yards a carry. He's scored 3 rushing touchdowns. But yeah, he needs to get down when the opportunity is there. He doesn't need to take those shots. He needs to get down on the turf. And as he said, the freshman sliding last year, giving himself up to get to the turf and play another day. That's very important for Justin Fields in the long run here.
All righty. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. As we fill in the blanks where we miss our friend and colleague Lauren Smith for the first time in decades on this program, our All-Star Replacement show continues with Kevin Butler next, followed by Eric Zier. Two gargantuans of the SEC, Georgia versus Louisiana State, today at 3:39 from Death Valley. It's 81 degrees on the Bulldog Sports Network.
I'm attorney Ken Nugent, and I'm here with former Bulldog quarterback and radio host Buck Bellew.
Ken's going to donate $500 to 2 members of the military every Bulldogs football game this season.
If you're a member of the military, go to attorneykennugent.com to enter.
And 2 people are going to win $500 every game.
One click.
That's it.
Ken Nugent, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN, 1355 Peachtree Street Northeast, Suite 1000, Atlanta, Georgia 30309.
You know the sound of performance. And you definitely know the name of performance. Toyota Camry, Corolla, and RAV4. A lineup that remains unrivaled. Toyota, let's go places. Get 0% APR for 48 months on a new 2018 Toyota RAV4. Offer valid through October 31st, 2018. Zero down for well-qualified buyers with approved credit and financing through Southeast Toyota Finance. 2083 monthly payment for every $1,000 financed. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Napa know-how. You're there every game. Same time, same spot, sporting your team's gear and flipping burgers like the diehard fanatic that you are. And while every vehicle at the tailgate deserves quality parts and Napa know-how, none deserve it more than yours, the perennial tailgate champion. And with Napa know-how, you and your ride can go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, and proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Nobody likes unwanted guests in their home. And we're not talking Gamecocks, Tigers, or Volunteers. Neil Hondo Williamson here, talking about those critters in our attics. Breda Pest Management gets the rats, mice, squirrels, and bats out of your attic for good. Under the Breda Guarantee, it's covered. All the critter waste, cleanup, covered. If they chew a new way into your home, under the Breda Warranty, it's covered. Breda Pest Management. BREDA Pest.com.
This is Georgia Bulldogs football.
35-30. He's got a convoy. He's got to go. Touchdown.
Now back to more of the Napa Tailgate Show.
Point after try, Blankenship. There's the record setter. 120 in a row on extra points for Rodrigo Blankenship. New school record.
It's time to talk the kicking game presented by Allstate, and who better to do it with than College Football Hall of Fame Bulldogs legend Kevin Butler. I'm Jeff Dantzler. All right, let's flash back 2 years ago. Rodrigo Blankenship's not even starting. His first field goal try at Ole Miss did not go well. Cole Tracy for LSU is kicking at tiny Assumption College in Division II. And now look at where these two guys are, Kevin. They're arguably the 2 best kickers in all of college football.
Yeah, absolutely. I think McCann from Missouri is one of those ones, but they're certainly the top 2 right now. You know, I think they're contributing more to their team right now and the success of their team. Cole's sitting there at 12 of 14. He's had one game where he hit 4 against Miami and hits a game winner, and that's the confidence that kickers build. And then you flip over to Rodrigo. Yeah, from 2 years ago, Rodrigo is certainly one of the top 3 kickers in the United States right now in all of college football, and he's proven it on a weekly basis. This is going to be a big test because we're going to need everyone from Rod today, and I think he and Cole are going to play a big role in this game today.
One area where LSU probably feels like it has the edge is in the punting game because Georgia's got a true freshman, and those LSU fans are going to be going nuts trying to rattle young Jake Camarda, who's very talented, but LSU, they've got an excellent punter in their own right.
They do, and when you get down in that end zone, this might be the first time that Jake's really going to experience that type of an atmosphere. I think he's well accomplished in high school. He even played on the big stage in high school, and it's nothing like, I'm not comparing it to LSU, but that adrenaline and that focus is something that you look for in good athletes, and I think Jake's a good athlete, but you don't need to outpunt the coverage today against a team like LSU. Punt within our coverage, and that might take him to throttle it back sometimes a little bit, try to get a little bit more height on the ball. I think you'll probably see him kick that Aussie kick a little bit more, even in the middle of the field, because he does it so good, and I think that really confuses a return team. When they see that Aussie kick and that different wobble, that hand goes up pretty quick for a fair catch, even if they don't have people around them.
Big game like this, you got to have your guys be guys, and maybe the difference today, we talked about Lindsey Scott 40 years ago, maybe Mecole Hardman could get loose today.
Yeah, you got Miko, you got Godwin, we got a good group of receivers back there. I think the kickoffs, could be dangerous today. I'm not sure what the wind or anything right there is, but that all plays a factor. And Georgia on their kickoff team really hasn't done a great job covering when they had to. So if Rod's going to be a weapon today, let's kick it out the end zone. And if not, we need to be on our guard and focused when he does return it.
Penalties on special teams can be so big, and Georgia's been just absolutely just ridden with penalties these last few games. And if you look, Kevin, at the last two games, Georgia's only started on the plus side of the field once. That was when Tennessee fumbled at 31-12, and those penalties have played a huge factor in that. Games like this, the hidden yardage so big.
Well, the one thing I hope and you hope and Dog Nation hopes that is we see a reduction in penalties today. Hurts you twice as much on the road. I don't care what you say, because then that penalty goes up and it goes against you and nullifies a play. The crowd gets into it. They're more excited, and all of that pressure and adversity hits that team. We need to stay out of those positions today, or it can be a long day for Georgia down there in Death Valley.
All right, great job, KB. Let's get us a W today. What do you say?
I'm all for that.
He's the Bulldogs Hall of Fame legend, Kevin Butler. I'm Jeff Dantzler. Talking the kicking game presented by Allstate. Let's send it down to the field. And Hondo.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Kevin. Allstate sponsors that look at the Bulldogs kicking game. Allstate, are you in good hands? It's number 2, Georgia, mano a mano with LSU from Death Valley. Kickoff 3:39 on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Napa know-how. You're there every game. Same time, same spot, sporting your team's gear and flipping burgers like the diehard fanatic that you are. And while every vehicle at the tailgate deserves quality parts and Napa know-how, none deserve it more than yours, the perennial tailgate champion. And with Napa know-how, you and your ride can go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, and proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
This is head coach Kirby Smart. 3 things I absolutely love: my family, football, and my Ford truck. One of my favorite things about my Ford F-150 is the versatility. I can drive it to work, tow my boat, even go out to a nice dinner with my wife. It's tough and capable, but it also feels refined and comfortable. Visit buyfordnow.com for impressive savings on F-150, the official truck of the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia football and F-150, built Ford tough.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey, Dog fans, we're Bulldogs Tailgate Club, where your pregame is our game time. Prepping your tailgate is hard work, but we've got the solution. We set it up, we take it down, you take it easy. Pretty awesome, right? And did we mention a great space in Reed Quad next to Sanford Stadium? Visit BulldogsTailgateClub.com to reserve your tailgate today. Bulldogs Tailgate Club. Prime location, no frustration.
An E-Z-Go vehicle is more than just a golf car, it's a life car. Made to help you make the most out of every minute. Whether you're dropping the kids off at the practice field or cruising around the neighborhood tailgate party, E-Z-Go vehicles are made for life and all the fun that comes with it. Test drive an E-Z-Go vehicle at Shiver Carts at 1207 U.S. Highway 82 East in Tifton.
setting the table for Dogs football.
Bounces out right, still running. 10, 5, pylon, touchdown!
You're listening to the Napa Tailgate Show.
First down there on the LSU 29.5. Shockley back in a shotgun. 3 wideouts. Shockley backs up again. He's still in the shotgun. Takes it and drops back and looks. And he's going to go. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown in the right corner. Sean Bailey again, this time in the other corner.
The great DJ Shockley with one of 2 TD passes to Sean Bailey in Georgia's 2005 stunning 20-point upset of third-ranked LSU. That was in the SEC championship game. Same 2 teams swap paint today from Death Valley here on the Bulldogs Network. Let's take a look at the Comcast Business scoreboard. Jay Black, our statistician up in the press box, tells me that they just cleared the field as Vanderbilt and Florida getting into it a little bit there at the half. I guess Vandy leading in Nashville over the 14th-ranked Gators. It's 21-10. Commodores, Ohio State has rallied late in the second quarter. The Buckeyes now lead Minnesota 17-14. Auburn and Tennessee playing at Auburn, and the 21st-ranked Tigers have taken the lead in that one 17-13. They are at the half. Other halftime scores: Maryland leads Rutgers 24-0. It's Northwestern leading Nebraska 14-13 also at the half. And in the second quarter, late second quarter, Duke and Georgia Tech are tied at 7 apiece in Atlanta. That scoreboard update brought to you by Comcast Business, beyond fast. Now here's Eric Zier with his desires for the Dogs and the Tigers.
Well, Hondo, desire number 1 is for the Dogs to come out and start extremely quick. We have indeed gotten off to some starts that are not ideal, but if we can take our third quarter starts, transplant it here this afternoon, and be how we start the football game to take this crowd out of it, it would be ideal. As you're driving in this morning, the place was packed outside the stadium 5-6 hours before the football game. They're going to be lubed up and ready to go as soon as they make their way inside Death Valley. Dogs need to deliver the first punch, get them out of the football game. And then as we get into the game, it is critical to win on first down on both sides of the football today. Offensively, this LSU defense only allowing opponents to convert 34% of the time on third down. We can't play from behind the chains, and the same holds true when we're on defense. If we can make this LSU offense operate from second and long, second medium, third and long situations, they have a hard time converting, going to be absolutely critical. And then the last desire of the football game is, as it relates to the quarterbacks, we've got to keep ours clean, and we've got to get Joe Burrows, the LSU quarterback, get his jersey grass-stained as much as we can. This LSU defense already 13 sacks on the year so far. They know how to get after the quarterback. It's hard for anybody to play from their backside. If we can keep a clean pocket, it's going to bode well for the Dogs.
All right, well done, Z. Coach Kirby Smart joins our Napa Tailgate Show 3 times between now and our 3:39 kickoff. That includes an exclusive scouting report of today's matchup between these 2 powerhouses. Coach Smart in less than 20 minutes, so stay with us on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Scana Energy is a proud partner of UGA football, and every Dogs fan deserves to save money. Get fired up about our low natural gas rates and switch to Scana Energy by calling 877-GO-SCANA or visiting scanaenergy.com. Between the hedges and beyond, Scana Energy is a winning play. Call 877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com to start saving on your natural gas today.
In football, it's important to call the right play. In life, it can be even more important to make the right call, especially regarding termite protection. To protect my home, I call the unbeatable combination for termite protection, Cook's Pest Control and the Centricon system. Discover how affordable it is to protect your home with the Centricon system. Make the right call. Cook's Pest Control.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control.
The Dogs are heard right here. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey Bulldog fans, with Aaron's, having what you want is much easier than you think. Because now you can lease to own all the brands you love in furniture, electronics, and appliances. Yes, all those things you've always dreamed of. At Aaron's, you don't need credit. And you have flexible payment options so you can pay little by little until you own it. Plus, delivery and setup are free so you can just focus on enjoying. Visit us in-store or at Aaron's.com and discover for yourself how easy it is to have what you want. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Join us Thursday nights for Bulldogs Live. Starting at 7 here from Bulldogs head coach Kirby Smart.
They want to play the game with passion and energy, just like I want to coach the game with passion and energy.
And at 8, it's Hondo and the Bulldog All-Stars with Neil Williamson and former Georgia Stars breaking down the Dogs.
What a terrific win by the Dogs.
Bulldogs Live, Thursday nights at 7 on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. You're listening to Dogs Football. Now back to more of the Napa Tailgate Show.
LSU's going to try to win with a 2-point play. Takes a cross sweep. Bootlegs out to the right. He's going to try to throw. We're chasing him. We miss him. There he's got a man open. And we block it. Somebody saved us. A linebacker. Will Witherspoon. Will Witherspoon blocked it. Booty ran a great deceptive move out to the right. Fooled us, and they had 3 men open in the end zone, out in the middle of the end zone and over on the left, and Will Witherspoon saw it and came running across and batted a ball to save it.
1999, Josh Booty with the rollout, Will Witherspoon with the fingertip deflection. That saved the Dogs 23-22 nail-biter over LSU between the hedges. It was Witherspoon who the coaches told me back then was the first guy every single morning at the weight room, waiting outside of a locked weight room, a locked Butts-Mehre building, waiting to get in so he could lift every single day. And you see where those lunges and squats paid off there in the late fourth quarter, and him able to make that play for the Dogs. A great one between Georgia and LSU. Same 2 teams today here from Death Valley. Thanks for joining us from the Napa Tailgate Show. Each week we like to check where the Dogs rank, presented by Northside Hospital. UGA still hanging tough at number 2 in the latest AP poll, trailing only Alabama in the rankings. And now on to our predictions. Last week was a rough one for 3 of our crew members who went 1-3.
Oof.
The standings at the midpoint of the season, Scott Howard maintains a 4-game lead. And we are delighted to welcome Lauren back to the broadcast from his recuperation back in Athens. Lauren, give our newer listeners a quick gist of your injury and projected recovery time.
Well, everything is really just terrific, Neil. I don't have any pain. I'm making progress. I hadn't missed a happy hour, and I'm going to be taking it business as usual come Monday. But, you know, at a time like this, you really appreciate special people. It's like those of us who work with Ron Corson don't really appreciate him until you see what he goes through. He is the most attentive, caring guy, and, you know, his office hours, they begin at something like 5:30 in the morning, and they don't end until practice is over and everybody's tucked in. So, gosh, the hours he puts in, and the caring hours. Of course, had the best surgeon in the world, Dr. John Manfredi, taking care of me. Then there's Kelly Ward, who just was so helpful. And then I get home, I got my wife, Myrna, and then I had a lady named Cynthia yesterday, and then Tammy McKinley. So everybody's making things really nice for me.
I'm so glad to hear that, Lauren. And, yeah, those guys, all those people you mentioned, with the exception of your wife, have taken care of me over the years as well, and they are indeed wonderful people to have taking care of you. We're hoping that you continue to recover quickly and are able to join us soon. Well, let's get on to the picks here. Number 22, Texas A&M at South Carolina. Lauren, we're going to let you go first on this one.
Well, I go up and down South Carolina, so I would have to pick Texas A&M this week because I think they've got less problems.
Well, I think they might have less problems indeed, and boy, I've been back and forth on this one as well. Carolina's hurt me a couple of times this year, so I'm going to go to the other side of the region and pick the Aggies as well.
I like A&M better than that final score versus Kentucky last week.
I like A&M also in this one. Their two losses are to two pretty good teams, Clemson and Alabama. So they're in the top 25 again. I like them to go and win on the road in the SEC today.
All right, number 15, Wisconsin at 12th ranked Michigan. Scott, you're up.
I was just looking at this one and some of the numbers. Michigan's playing pretty well. They've won 5 in a row since that season opening loss to Notre Dame. I like Michigan to win this one at home.
Okay, I'm going to go with Michigan, too, by a touchdown. Lauren?
Well, got to go against, I can't go against the Harbaugh family. Good friends. I think they're good coaches. I think he's going to get it straightened out. Eventually, I hear from friends up that way who say he's going to recover. So I'll go with Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I think Michigan is starting to right the ship a little bit. Wisconsin, I think maybe going a little bit in the other direction. I like the Wolverines.
Okay, number 19, Colorado at Southern Cal. The undefeated Rams, they're big underdogs at the Coliseum in L.A., and I'm going to go with the Trojans by a point. Scott?
Colorado has never beaten Southern Cal in this series. The Buffaloes are 0-12 against Southern Cal. They are undefeated, however, coming into this ball game. Colorado at 5-0, but I like the Trojans to win at home and extend that series to 13-0.
Yep, I'm right on that same page as well. The magical season for Colorado, I think, gets shattered here a little bit. I like the Trojans.
Lauren?
I'll go with the Trojans. Didn't know about that streak, but year in and year out, Southern Cal is going to have more big-time college football players in Colorado, and that obviously has not changed lately, so I go with the Trojans to win.
All right, number 7, Washington at 17th ranked Oregon. Z, you're up.
Boy, I kind of needed Scott to pick first on this one since we've all been the same, because I just need to go opposite of Scott, whatever. Can that be my pick, opposite of Scott?
Sure, we'll let you do it one time.
I won't use it on this go-around. We'll wait till we get a little bit deeper in the season. I like the upset here. I like Oregon.
All right, Lauren, then Scott.
I'm going to go with the Huskers.
I'm with you, Lauren, on this one. So we are opposite, Z. I like Washington to win this one. They're on a bit of a streak, 5 in a row. Ducks are coming off an open date. They should be well prepared, but I like Washington's steadier play in this one to win on the road.
Well, Oregon killed me a couple of weeks ago against Stanford, but I like the Duck set rather than upset today. Oregon beats those guys. We'll have Kirby Smart in 10 minutes. Lauren, we'll have you come back and talk to us as well. But, hey, you had a quick story you wanted to share about Billy Cannon, Lauren.
Well, I've been an LSU aficionado. I had a friend to play there, and I learned about the mystique when I was in college at Georgia. But two great backs out of LSU. The first big backs with big speed, the Herschel Walker types. Billy Cannon, they said of him, he trained exclusively for the sprints. He could won the Olympic gold. If he had trained exclusively for weightlifting, he could have won the Olympic gold in weightlifting. But Steve Van Buren wasn't quite as big, just as fast. He became a big-time star with the Philadelphia Eagles, but he became addicted to the horses and spent his life following the horses. He didn't make a lot of money, but he eked out a living doing what he loved to do best, go to the horse track every day. So Marion Campbell, when he was coaching the Eagles, arranged for me to interview Steve Van Buren, and when I finished, I said, if you had it to live over again, would you do the same thing? He said, oh, yes, I'd have another lifetime to try to beat the horses.
Lovely. Okay, Lauren. Hey, Lauren, you know what? Jamie Erdahl from CBS just came by and said, I sure am missing Lauren. So she sends her best to you.
Jamie is a great dog, great American.
Yeah, very good. All right, thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Eric. As a proud sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs, Napa Auto Parts can help your ride and your tailgate party go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. Coach Kirby Smart will share an exclusive scouting report on today's battle between our second-ranked Bulldogs and the number 13 Bayou Bengals. That's less than 10 minutes away on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Stacey Abrams is a big-spending, tax-raising, radical liberal. Abrams doesn't just have socialist ideas. She campaigns with socialists, and the Socialist Party endorsed her. Abrams will raise taxes on families by $13,000 a year. She wants state government-run health care. even compared Georgia law enforcement to terrorists. Stacey Abrams is so radical, she makes Nancy Pelosi seem like a moderate. Abrams will make Georgia a sanctuary state for illegal immigrants, admits she will confiscate your guns, and Abrams strongly supports abortion on demand. So if you hate guns, love abortion, want higher taxes, don't mind illegal immigration, and need more socialism in your life, support Stacey Abrams. But if you want to keep Georgia moving in the right direction, do your part. Vote early. Vote Brian Kemp.
I'm Brian Kemp, and I believe in Georgia, and I'd be honored to have your vote.
Paid for by Brian Kemp for Governor, Inc.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Welcome back to Sports View. Today's topic, game changers. Makes me think of Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Finally, a simple, efficient way to quote home insurance. Let's go to Colin, who will now try to say something.
Okay, first of all, are you kidding? Never in my life. Okay, when you see stuff like this, look, I'm not the only one who thinks this, although everybody says I am.
Well said, Colin. Well said.
Get right to the point with Home Quote Explorer. It's a game changer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Hey, Georgia fans. Nothing brings people together like Bulldog football and a great meal. So huddle up with family and friends and join us on game days or during the week for one of our daily specials. Like all-you-can-eat Chicken Tender Tuesdays or Free Pie Wednesday. Just search for one of our 29 Georgia locations at ocharlies.com and run a route to the restaurant closest to you. With online ordering, you can even set up a time to pick up your meal to go. O'Charlie's, proud supporter of Georgia Bulldog football.
Perfect way to begin your Georgia football Saturday.
Kick is blocked! The kick is blocked! It's no good! It's no good!
Welcome back to the Napa Tailgate Show.
He gives it off to Holyfield. Holyfield's got nothing but room on this right side. 20, 10, 5. He dives near the pylon, and he crosses the goal line. Touchdown! The dive got him in there.
8 plays, 86 yards on that drive for the Dogs last week in the victory. Neil Honda Williamson on the Napa Tailgate Show with Eric Zier, Scott Howard, Lauren Smith. We are on the Scana sideline, standing on the 41-yard line with the J. Reed Parker Director of Athletics, Greg McGarity. And Greg, first of all, Lauren has been with us in the show. He had hip replacement 5 days ago. The guy is as unsinkable as Molly Brown.
I know, Neil. He is. I know he's really wanting to be here today, but he's where he needs to be. Myrna taking good care of him, and hope we can get him back for the Florida weekend. But we miss him, and but he'll be in our thoughts, and I'm sure he'll be zeroed in on this game all day.
Coming here to Death Valley, it's a rare occurrence for Bulldog fans. This place is massive. This kind of game, 2 top 13 teams, this is just so much fun, isn't it?
Well, as Kirby said, a lot of times that's why these young men come to the University of Georgia to play in these big games. And it's an imposing stadium, but you know what? So was the Rose Bowl. Yeah. So was Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So we played there before in venues that are over 100,000. So, you know, it's a great opportunity for us. I'm interested to see how many Georgia fans sprinkle the stadium with red and black, because I can only imagine it'll be significantly more than our 6,000.
Yeah, I think you're right on there. Now, earlier in the broadcast, we talked about how Georgia and LSU from 1953 to 1978 didn't play. Now, this is a much shorter stretch, but we won't see the Tigers again until 2025. Does the athletic department have a stand on or an opinion about adding a 9th SEC game?
Well, I know one issue that we are talking about is rotating through the Western teams a little bit quicker. And, you know, we really don't know who we play beyond 2024. Some people have said LSU. We don't know because the schedule has not been completed past 2024. But we have meetings throughout the year that talk about scheduling and potentially a 9th game, which will always be up for discussion. But where that lands, we don't know. We just know through 2024 we're set with the current schedule. And what happens in 25 and further will be determined at a later date.
All right, great. Greg, thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure, Neil.
All right, Greg McGarity with us here on the sideline. We're fired up. The team buses have arrived. Georgia is in the locker room now getting dressed, and Coach Kirby Smart joins us in 2 minutes with an exclusive scouting report. This is the Bulldog Sports Network.
I'm attorney Ken Nugent, and I'm here with former Bulldog quarterback and radio host Buck Bellew.
Ken's going to donate $500 to 2 members of the military every Bulldogs football game this season.
If you're a member of the military, go to attorneykennugent.com to enter.
And 2 people are going to win $500 every game.
1 click.
That's it.
Ken Nugent, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN, 1355 Peachtree Street Northeast, Suite 1000, Atlanta, Georgia 30309.
Building Atlanta to compete on the world stage is what we do at IBEW 613. We are the members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 613. It's important to builders to know why we do what we do. Sure, we're the best electricians. We train 10,000 hours to be the best. But more importantly, we take pride in our work. To be the best, hire the best. Check us out at IBEW613.org. or search IBEW 613.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
FAST is the nation's largest gig speed network. Beyond FAST is the complete reliability of 4G LTE backup. That means whether you're downloading big files, swiping credit cards, or emailing your sales team or customers, your business can go on even if the power goes out. When you're a business owner, you need speed and reliability. For a limited time, make the switch to Comcast Business and get an amazing deal on fast, reliable internet. Just one more way Comcast Business goes beyond AT&T. Get started with 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month when you add 2 voice mobility lines. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 11/21/18. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra subject to change. Connection Pro backup limited to up to 6 hours.
This is Georgia Bulldogs football.
35-30, he's got a convoy, he's got to go, touchdown!
Now back to more of the Napa Tailgate Show.
Dogs threatening here late in the half. Minute 19 to go in the quarter. Snap to Fromm. He looks to the right, throws it in that same spot. Riley juggled it, caught it, yeah! Arms up in the air for the touchdown. Thanks for tuning in to the Bulldogs Tailgate Show. Welcome back. We're with Coach Kirby Smart. We take a look at today's opponent, the LSU Tigers, and this segment is brought to you by ServPro, helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened. Coach, back in LSU, you were here briefly as a head coach. What is it like to come back as a head coach now to a place where you coached and worked previously?
It's exciting to get back. It was such a brief stay for me. I was only here for a little under a calendar year between the time that I arrived and then the opportunity to come back to Georgia and coach running back. So it was a short stay, but it was a good time. It was an enjoying time in my life. I felt really young. I was close to the age of the players, and it was a fun time.
When you talk to other people around the SEC, they always point out LSU as being kind of a unique place, a unique atmosphere. Lots of different reasons for that. Did you feel that way when you were here also?
Yeah, it's different. It's a different feel than most SEC schools. You look at the state of Louisiana, it's just a little different. Even culturally, it's just different. I think that it's a unique experience. They care a lot about their football, and that's all SEC teams do, but they certainly know how to celebrate it with tailgating and atmosphere.
One thing that's not different is that today's game will be another tough SEC battle. Tell us a little bit about this LSU squad.
Well, they're big, physical, fast, like most SEC teams, but just a little bigger, a little faster. They played a really tough schedule. They opened with Miami. They played some really good teams, and their kids are very resilient. They've got a talented football team, and we'll have a huge test on our hands today.
Who are some of the guys that stand out in your opinion?
Well, I think the biggest difference in their offense has been Joe Burrow. Steve Ensminger does a great job using him. He's a quarterback run guy. He can put him in the right play. Their backs are physical downhill runners, and that's a big thing for us. Can we tackle big physical backs? There's been some times this year that we haven't done that well. And then they've got huge wideouts. Their wideouts are all 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". I mean, they may be the group that's a lot bigger than ours. So I'll be excited to see them play. Then defensively, they've got Devin White, who's probably the best defensive player in the conference.
like Georgia, they have a lot of guys that touch the football on offense. They use their receivers a lot in the run game. What are some of the concerns that their offense does?
Well, the biggest concern is the explosive plays on the perimeter with the wideouts, and then their size on the offensive line and trying to grind you down with their backs. They got a 3-back kind of committee, and they're all 3 good players, very similar to ours, and the quarterback does a good job dispersing the ball.
How effective are they running that jet sweep?
They do jet sweep some. The offensive coordinator last year did a lot more of that. They've gone more away from it, and they mix it in kind of like we do. But they're a similar style offense, powerful, want to run downhill on you.
What kind of defense do they play?
Well, they got an aggressive defense. Dave Aranda is one of the best defense coordinators in the country. He mixes things up on you, changes them up. He brings people from all over the field, a lot of different pressures. Goes out of a 3-4, out of a 4-3. Got a really good player in Rashad Lawrence that plays inside, and Grant Delpit, one of the best corners in the conference. And like I talked about, Devin White. So they're very talented on defense, and they can run.
How much of a challenge will it be for your quarterbacks to be able to determine what LSU is doing on defense?
Well, they do a good job mixing up their coverages. They disguise things well. I think Jake should understand it, should be able to process it, make good decisions, protect the ball, don't turn the ball over, don't beat ourselves, and just go execute.
Are they good in the secondary?
Yeah, they are. Like I said, they've got one of the best corners in the league, and the 2 safeties are returning guys that are big physical guys.
And the kicker's not bad either.
No, he's not. He's got the second most touchbacks to Rod, so he's very similar to ours.
He's got a little range, too. I think 54 yards is his long field goal this year. He's a pretty good transfer kicker. Kirby, thanks for your time very much. Thanks for the scouting report on LSU, and we'll catch up with you a little bit later.
Thanks. Go Dogs.
All right, that's Coach Kirby Smart and our look at the LSU Tigers. Hondo, back to you for more of the Bulldogs Tailgate Show.
All right, thank you, Scott. Thank you, Coach, for taking the time. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. From Death Valley, this is the Bulldogs Sports Network. Coming up in the next half hour on the Napa Tailgate Show, heroes of past Georgia victories over LSU. David Green, Michael Bennett, plus a classic Munson call. Our number 2 Bulldogs versus the 13th ranked Tigers this afternoon at 3:39 on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hi, Georgia fans. I'm Scott Howard here for UPS. Your customers want more from your business. You've got to make more happen, whether they're in Athens, Georgia, or on the other side of the world. Globally or locally, UPS is building solutions to help businesses give their customers exactly what they want. More. Made easy. UPS, official logistics company of Georgia Athletics.
Coach Kirby Smart here. Let's talk about the official healthcare provider of UGA Athletics, Piedmont Healthcare. Piedmont makes sure that our dogs are playing their best, but we know you don't have to be a college athlete to get bumps and bruises. With urgent care, same-day appointments, virtual visits from your smartphone or desktop, and Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, they've got the care you need when you need it. Booking an appointment is only a click away. So for game day and every day, get better at piedmont.org/UGA.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
There's savings, and then there's big savings. The kind of savings you can always find at your neighborhood Kroger. With low prices and delicious choices, plus personalized coupons and ClickList to help you shop and save anytime from anywhere. So you get more for less at Kroger.
Say hello to new lower prices and weekly sale prices too, like red or white seedless grapes for 98 cents a pound with card. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
On game day, you are the MVP, Most Valuable Party Planner, because you've got Kroger on your team, and you save big on an awesome spread. Delectable dips, wings with a kick, savory sliders. Yep, you've got buffet bragging rights. And you're scoring with low prices. So get ready to savor victory with those delicious Kroger Game Day Greats, where food and fans unite. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
will try to kick one 100,000 miles.
Dogs on top. We were gone. I gave up. You did too.
Look at the sugar falling out of the sky.
Georgia football history through the voice of a legend. Here's another listen back to Larry Munson's Greatest Calls, presented by AT&T. AT&T is a proud sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. AT&T, more for your thing. That's our thing.
Third down, 2.5. LSU up to the line of the stadium, rocks and roars. They want the Dogs to get the ball back. 19-16 LSU. One back set. Hodson waves him back as he came up closer. Hodson dropping the throw. Hodson fire, intercepted on the 45, running down the sideline. Guthrie tripped, stumbled, and knocked him out. The ball may have been tipped. Vince Guthrie caught it, ran as fast as he could. Raji McGee, a receiver, tripped him from behind. He went out on the 17. The Dogs are down there close. A partially tipped pass, intercepted by Guthrie. And the Dogs suddenly in business. It's 19-16. Dogs up to the line. Nate Lewis, wide flanker, a lone flanker to the right. Jackson looking at a 5-man front, and he's going to give it to Hampton. 5, 10, touchdown! Hampton went straight ahead. 2 men pinched him, but he pulled his legs away. I think most of the blocking was Burroughs, Wheeler, and Stevens in the middle. 22-19, the Dogs ahead. We have been ahead for hours.
A frenzied night between the hedges in 1987. LSU came into that game ranked number 7. The Dogs were 16. We overcame an early 16-3 deficit, and the Tigers unfortunately prevailed and rallied 26-23. That was a gut-wrencher in Sanford Stadium. As a proud sponsor of Georgia Bulldogs, Napa Auto Parts can help your ride and your tailgate party go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. We are in Death Valley. It's 83 degrees, going to hit a high of 85 today. There's like 1% cloud cover, so it's going to be hot for both teams. I got Bakari Rambo sitting next to me here on the bench, a great Georgia Bulldog who's come back now to help out with coaching. We are fired up. We'll come back. We'll talk to David Green, hopefully get Michael Bennett on the show as well. Some Bulldogs who have had some success against LSU. And we can't wait to have them on the show with us. Can't wait till kickoff. Today, 3:39 Bulldog Sports Network.
When this is the sound of a crackling campfire on a cool evening, you can sit back and relax. But when it's the sound of your counters and cabinets smoking and smoldering following a house fire that's affected your entire kitchen, you need to pick up the phone and call 1-800-SERVPRO. Only the cleanup and restoration specialists at ServPro can help make fire and water damage like it never even happened. So make the call to 1-800-SERVPRO when fire damage strikes. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
I'm attorney Ken Nugent, and I'm here with former Bulldog quarterback and radio host Buck Bellew.
Ken's going to donate $500 to 2 members of the military every Bulldogs football game this season.
If you're a member of the military, go to attorneykennugent.com to enter.
And 2 people are going to win $500 every game.
1 click.
That's it.
Ken Nugent, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN, 1355 Peachtree Street Northeast, Suite 1000, Atlanta, Georgia 30309.
The Dogs are heard right here. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Progressive presents Get Pumped. Inspiration to help you do insurance stuff.
Hey, get your head in the game. This ain't no exhibition match. This is for real. You've got a house to insure, and there are no excuses because Progressive's Home Quote Explorer makes it easier than ever to get the coverage you need. Here's some music to get you pumped. Dum chugga 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 meow meow meow. Dum chugga chugga chugga. Feel that confidence? Dum chugga chugga chugga. Did I say stop saving money? No. Dum chugga chugga chugga. Meow meow.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Napa know-how.
You're there every game. Same time, same spot, sporting your team's gear and flipping burgers like the die-hard fanatic that you are. And while every vehicle at the tailgate deserves quality parts and Napa know-how, none deserve it more than yours, the perennial tailgate champion. And with Napa know-how, you and your ride can go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, and proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
setting the table for Dogs football.
Bounces out right, still running. 10, 5, pylon, touchdown!
You're listening to the Napa Tailgate Show.
3 wideouts. Green standing there in a shotgun. Green takes it, steps back, looks, and he's going to go for Reggie Brown in the corner, and it's a touchdown! It's a touchdown by about 6 inches. He was running right down the sideline. I don't see how he kept the ball in fair territory.
2004, hosting the defending national champion Bayou Bengals, David Green threw 5 touchdown passes, 45-16 blowout over Nick Saban and Louisiana State. And joining us now on the Bulldogs guest line is the second leading passer in SEC history, our old pal David Green. Greeny, how you doing, pal?
Hondo, doing good, buddy. How about yourself?
Oh, everybody's good. Thank you. Everybody's good. Well, you helmed your share of phenomenal Georgia victories between 2001 2004. I don't even know where to start. You had the P44 Haynes upset of Tennessee, the program's first ever win in Tuscaloosa, the 2002 Miracle at Auburn, the SEC Championship over Arkansas, Sugar Bowl over Bobby Bowden and FSU. Those are just your first 2 years at quarterback for Georgia. Where does your senior season thrashing of Nick Saban's Tigers land on your all-time list?
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a huge win. You know, in Georgia, we're not used to losing to begin with, and to lose twice to LSU in 2003 in the same year was brutal. And you know, as players, we always tell the media, you know, we don't circle any games on our calendar, but you can best believe that we had that game circled in Athens my senior year. Because I tell you what, LSU back then, I mean, they were as dominant as any team in the country. You know, they won the national championship in 2003, and as talented as probably any defense as we ever faced was, you know, that team in 2003 and 2004.
Mm-hmm.
They had 2 All-American corners, and they were stacked inside. And what they would try to do, Hondo, is they would try to put 9 guys in the box to stop the run. They had 2 All-American corners in Webster and Daniels, and they said, guys, we think our corners are better than your receivers. But obviously Reggie and Fred were a little bit better that day in 2004.
Yeah, you were pretty good yourself, partner. In 2003, I'm looking at the field right now. I remember what end of the field we were on when you and Tyson Browning connected to almost pull off an upset here of the eventual national champions.
You know what? That was the best. Even though we lost that game, I've told a number of people, the best college football environment I think I ever played in. You know, we were really good going into that season. We were undefeated. LSU was undefeated. And it was a hard-fought football game. And that was one of those kind of old-school games where it was close the entire game. We had our moments. You know, we hit that big play late in the game. I thought that might be enough to do it. And LSU just stepped up and made a play. It was a 3rd and 6. He hit Skylar Green on a clear route. He wasn't even really supposed to be in the play. LSU's got good players as well. That was a tough, hard-fought game. And if you're one of these, you know, players that just loves good college football atmospheres, it's going to be one of those. Probably one of the most hostile environments. Thank goodness CBS picked us up at 3:30, so it wouldn't be a night game.
Indeed. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, well, that was a day game here in 2003, too, yeah. David, before you go, quick thoughts on our current 1-2 punch of Jake Fromm and Justin Fields?
Well, I tell you what, too, I mean, we're very fortunate in Georgia. You know, Fromm, his leadership ability, he's steady. You know what you're going to get. He's making plays. The moment's never too big for him. What he did last year and what he's done this year, you know, he's played the quarterback position as good as any quarterback in the country. With Fields and his ability to be able to run the ball, I think he's already displayed his accuracy. And, you know, when he's in there, we get a lot of chunk yards as well. Yeah. And so, you know, both these guys, I think Kirby's doing a really good job of using both of them. And it seems like they're doing really well, you know, playing together as well. They seem to be, you know, unselfish. And when their number gets called, they're stepping up and making plays.
Very good. Greeny, thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
All right, Honda. Thank you, buddy.
All right, David Green, the second leading passer in SEC history, who led Georgia to its first SEC title in 20 years, that back in 2002. Think your tailgate is better than the rest? Well, we're surprising fans all season long with $50 gift cards valid at 76 stations. We'll be on the lookout every home game for the tailgater of the game. Brought to you by 76. 76, fueling your tailgate. And don't touch that dial. We'll talk to the great Eric Zier in a matter of minutes. And Michael Bennett, phenomenal receiver from just a few years ago, joins us next. It's number 2 Georgia, number 13 LSU on the Bulldog Sports Network.
I'm John Addison, a lifetime Bulldog fan, Georgia graduate, and the chairman of distribution for Primerica, the largest independent financial services marketing company in North America. Primerica is a Main Street company for Main Street families. We help people from all walks of life achieve their goals and dreams by offering common sense financial solutions to today's challenges. As a Georgia-based company, Primerica is proud to continue to sponsor Georgia football. Go Dogs!
Those Southern-raised, nationally acclaimed Georgia Bulldogs. The only thing better than being a legend is a Bulldog, and you're both. Whether you're in a classroom, a boardroom, resting your paws overseas, or in Sanford Stadium screaming your red and black hearts out, you are legends. Delta is proud to be the official airline of UGA Athletics, and we're ready to take you everywhere legends need to be. Now let's hear that chapel bell ring. Delta Airlines, keep climbing.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Psst, hey, it's your eyes. I can see you're hungry. I know you have your usual favorite Subway sub, but look over to your left. Other left. Yes, the barbecue rib sub. Trust your eyes, that's one meaty, saucy 6-inch barbecue rib, and it's just $3.49. And see what you can add. Veggies, cheese, any of it, all of it. Make it what you want. Just $3.49 only at, look at the sign. Yes, Subway. Limited time at participating restaurants. Additional charge for extras, plus applicable tax. No additional discounts or coupons may be applied.
Kubota's L2501 DT packs powerful performance into one easy-to-operate compact tractor. Designed for all-day operator comfort and easy use of implements, the L2501 DT makes mowing, digging, hauling, and lifting quick and simple. Now get payments as low as $135 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at GoKubota.com.
You're listening to Dogs Football. Now back to more of the Napa Tailgate Show.
In a 27-all ball game, 1:40 to go. Murray with time in the pocket, throws it in the end zone. Wide open! Touchdown, baby! Michael Bennett, his second of the day.
2013 between the hedges. What a game. After exploding for 24 first-half points against 6th-ranked LSU, Georgia's offense hit a lull. Until late in the third quarter, Aaron Murray, Michael Bennett connecting on that 21-yard scoring strike. Back at the Scana sideline in Baton Rouge, Neil Hondo Williamson and Eric Zier. And joining us now on the Bulldogs guest line is the one-time star receiver, Michael Bennett. Michael, how you doing?
I'm great, guys. How are you doing?
We are doing terrific. It's hot here. It's 83 degrees right now and not a cloud in the sky, but that's a good day for football in Baton Rouge. That game in 2013, Michael, that was like a rap battle, battle rap. Georgia and LSU just lobbing grenades back and forth, 44-41 Dogs win. Can you remember playing in a better home atmosphere than that amazing day?
No, I can't. It was the best game I've ever been a part of between the hedges, and I get a lot of questions about that game, but man, I miss it so much. And that game in particular was that Mettenberger coming back between the hedges after he got kicked off, and then they had Odell Beckham Jr., Darvis Landry, just a lot of firepower for LSU. We were fortunate to come out on top though that day.
Well, Michael Bennett, for those of you who don't know, he's 10th on the all-time Georgia list with 134 career receptions, 7th in touchdown catches with 17. Michael, we talk about all the weapons at Jake Fromm's disposal in 2018, but those teams you played on from 2011 to 2014 had some pretty good players too, you among them, Michael.
Yeah, I'm biased, obviously, but I think they we did. We had a lot of great players, guys that are still playing the NFL, especially at the receiver position, and then we also had a great running attack. Todd Gurley. We had Todd Gurley, Nick Chubb, and Sonny Michel on all one team, all first-round draft picks. It's hard to believe. That was in 2014. But then in 2013, we had Todd Gurley, Keith Marshall, a lot of great players as well. So, we put up a lot of points with Mike Bobo as offense coordinator. broke a lot of records. So it was a lot of fun, and we won a lot of big ball games like that LSU game.
Yeah, receivers in the NFL, Tavares King, Chris Conley, among others. Michael, what are you doing now?
I'm in commercial real estate here in Atlanta. I'm also coaching at Maris, and that's been a lot of fun too for the varsity team. So just living here in Atlanta, and right now I'm at the Battery and enjoying this new development here. So it's a lot of fun here in Atlanta.
All right, it's great to have you on with us, and thank you for taking the time today, Michael. Always appreciated the way you played out there. You played hard every down.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Great talking.
All right,
to you.
Michael. Yeah, thank you, Michael. Bulldogs fans, shop the UGA bookstore for the best in Georgia gear. Shop all the great brands like Nike, Peter Millar, Tommy Bahama, Vineyard Vines, and Southern Tide. The UGA bookstore is located next to Sanford Stadium or online 24/7 at UGAbookstore.com. UGA Bookstore, it's where the dogs shop. And thanks again to Michael Bennett for taking the time. We have played so many terrific games against LSU, including that one that we just talked about. We'll have more highlights for you from over the years as well as from the past few weeks as our 6-0 Bulldogs look for their 11th 7-0 start in program history versus Louisiana State. The Napa Tailgate Show continues next on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Stacey Abrams is a big-spending, tax-raising radical liberal. Abrams doesn't just have socialist ideas. She campaigns with socialists, and the Socialist Party endorsed her. Abrams will raise taxes on families by $13,000 a year. She wants state government-run health care, even compared Georgia law enforcement to terrorists. Stacey Abrams is so radical, she makes Nancy Pelosi seem like a moderate. Abrams will make Georgia a sanctuary state for illegal immigrants, admits she will confiscate your guns, and Abrams strongly supports abortion on demand. So if you hate guns, love abortion, want higher taxes, don't mind illegal immigration, and need more socialism in your life, support Stacey Abrams. But if you want to keep Georgia moving in the right direction, do your part. Vote early. Vote Brian Kemp.
I'm Brian Kemp, and I believe in Georgia, and I'd be honored to have your vote.
Paid for by Brian Kemp for Governor, Inc.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
In sports, players hire a personal coach in an effort to get maximum performance. At Piedmont Bank, we believe that same theory holds true. A personal relationship should be at the core of banking. Piedmont Bank, founded by a group of local business professionals, is committed to your performance, whether you're a business owner or a resident of our community. We look forward to personally working with you. Experience the difference at Piedmont Bank. Visit us today at piedmont.bank.
The BMW X3 was built for those who desire more. More passion, more exploring, more leaving your comfort zone and never returning. With iDrive 6.0, available safety features like active blind spot detection and xDrive intelligent all-wheel drive. Because for some, more isn't a maybe, it's a must. The BMW X3, capable of more. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics. Visit BMWATL.com for great offers. Go Dogs!
Perfect way to begin your Georgia football Saturday.
Kick is blocked! The kick is blocked! It's no good! It's no good!
Welcome back to the Napa Tailgate Show.
Shermer under center on 3rd and 1. Oh, we ate him up in the backfield. Tyler Clark just gobbled up Curry Blasingame and swallowed him whole back at the 7.5.
Comcast Business Scoreboard. Vanderbilt just missed a chip shot field goal attempt. It's mid-third quarter. Commodores hanging on against Florida, leading the Gators 21-13 in Nashville, mid-third quarter there. We're talking Georgia defense with Eric Zier. It's hard to stop an opponent, presented by Train. It's hard to stop a train. LSU is averaging 31 points and 393 yards per game. Not chopped liver when we account for their 6 opponents, including Miami, Auburn, Florida, and Ole Miss.
They have some signs of being the old, really physical LSU, come downhill, hit you right in the mouth. They run power, counter, lead. I mean, they do all the traditional fullback offense. But they also have the spread elements, and I think their quarterback does a tremendous job with that.
As Coach Smart notes, Buckeyes transfer quarterback Joe Burrow has been a dual-threat blessing on the Bayou.
He's a really good athlete. He runs the ball well. They were able to run quarterback runs with him. You can tell that from his transition from Ohio State. He's been able to run the ball.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, 176 yards on the ground. That includes 62 that he's lost because of sacks or other things of that nature that will count against him running the football. And through the air, just over 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 INTs. He's been a bit erratic, though, only 54% completion percentage. He's got the tools, the raw tools to be able to hurt you, both with his legs and both through the air. A key for us today, if we can create some eye confusion with him and get him to slow his mental process down, we can get and create some confusion for not just him, but this LSU offense, and might get some opportunities and picking up a few cheap ones and turning the field over pretty quickly. But no question, with Joe Burrow calling the shots here, this has been a vastly improved LSU offense.
Yeah, and as he was saying, when he can rush that well and pull it down, you have to kind of pick your poison. Which would you rather pick, the run or the pass?
Yeah, so really
some ways to break the pocket and get guys out of the pocket and make them run. And other guys, you want to keep them in the pocket and make them throw the ball from the pocket.
Yeah, it is with Joe Burrow and how we can hurt you. I think really the key, and you saw it last week against Florida, is if you can get in press man-to-man, get an additional guy into the box with a lot of run blitzes, and again, create that confusion with who he's looking at and where he's trying to go with the football, you can accomplish almost two things at once. But it's important to contain, as with any running quarterback. If he gets outside the pocket, can hurt you, but not as dynamic as many quarterbacks we've seen.
All right, our Bulldogs defense stifled Vanderbilt to just 91 second-half yards last week, and it's in for a different type of tussle today in Tiger Stadium.
They better knuckle up because it's going to be physical, tough, hard-nosed football team. They have a big offensive line. They've got big fullbacks. They've got big tight ends. They've got big backs. They got big people, and that's the way LSU's built. They're a physical, tough. I mean, they're across the board now. When you look at their wideouts are huge. They've got a lot of different protections. They've got a lot of different run game. Probably the most run game we've seen when you look at the volume of inside zone, outside zone, counter, power. They've got it all.
LSU indeed is big. Honda, we're sitting down here on the field right now, and man after man that walks by us from LSU just look like monsters. They most definitely look the part. The difference from years past is our Bulldogs look the part too now as well. So we'll be able to match up with the size and the physicality and the athleticism that this LSU brings to the table. But no doubt about it, this is the most dominant team that we have faced to this point in the season. They have earned their ranking. They've gotten here for a reason. They're going to be playing in front of a crowd that is just going to be absolutely electric. They're going to be ready to go. Our Dogs, we need to hit them in the face early, be sound, be disciplined, and it should be a great battle out here.
All right, thank you, Z. Nice job. Come back and game plan with us in a couple.
Absolutely.
All right, very good. That was today's defensive preview presented by Train. It's hard to stop a train. The voice of the Dogs, Scott Howard, is next. We'll talk about fumbles and other assorted messes that need cleaning up. As a proud sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs, Napa Auto Parts can help your ride and your tailgate party go the distance. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. We'll have more of our tailgate show from the 41-yard line at Death Valley in 2 minutes. This is the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Inside the Train testing facility, our heating and cooling products go through endless torture tests. We drop them, slam them against a wall, shake them, and then expect them to run without an extra decibel in our anechoic sound chamber. We test so it runs.
Now through November 15th, upgrade to Unstoppable. Choose special financing for 48 months or discounts up to $1,000 on a qualifying new Train system. Visit traininfo.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Subject to credit approval.
It's hard to stop a train.
There's a common misconception that all chicken sandwiches from the South are the same. Cue Zaxby's new buttermilk and hand-breaded Southern Sweet and Smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, lettuce, smoky backyard sauce, and a potato bun. The other, a perfected classic with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Both served with crinkle fries in a 22-ounce tray. The Southern chicken sandwich will never be the same. Order ahead on Zaxby's.com or use our app to skip the wait. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey, ESPN's Neil Everett here telling you how to win big. Score a trip to the Heisman ceremony or a Nissan Titan. Go to nissanusa.com/Titan sweepstakes. Build your Titan. Choose your school's colors, then register for your chance to win today.
Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics. No purchase necessary. Ends 11/10/18. Open to legal residents of the 50 U.S. and D.C. 18 and older. To enter in for official rules, visit nissanusa.com/Titan sweepstakes.
Join us for Bulldog Brunch Sunday mornings at 10 following every Georgia football game.
Best brunch in all of Athens. It's my favorite part of the week.
Jeff Dantzler and Georgia Hall of Famer Kevin Butler will be live from the Hilltop Grill in Athens with 2 hours of calls and conversations about the Dogs.
It was an unbelievable game from every standpoint.
Bulldog Brunch, Sundays at 10 a.m. on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. This is Georgia Bulldogs football.
35-30, he's got a convoy, he's got to go, touchdown!
Now back to more of the Napa Tailgate Show.
This moment of commitment is brought to you by Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance, always the home team. The University of Georgia is committed to tackling the grand challenges of our time. Our researchers are working to improve human health, create a more secure future, and build stronger communities. We're driven to making discoveries that bring solutions to improve our world for generations to come. It's more than our mission. It's more than our passion. It's our commitment.
Fields is the quarterback, and Harrion is in the ball game. Brian gets the carry, tucks it in his right arm, runs past the 10, down to the 5. Pile moving, get him in there! Get him in the end zone! Ooh, did the ball come out? The beanbag came out. Georgia says touchdown. No sign yet from the officials. Now there's the sign, touchdown.
All right, Brian Harrion and about 2 tons of beef moving like a glacier across the east end zone goal line last Saturday in Sanford Stadium. The excited man who made that call, Scott Howard, is back with us on the Napa Tailgate Show. Let's talk about cleanup, buddy. Coach Smart has railed about sloppiness often in the first 6 weeks of the season. And last week we witnessed the Bulldogs being flagged for 13 penalties for 115 yards. That will not stand if we want to get out of Baton Rouge with a W, will it?
Not at all. Georgia has 33 penalties in the last 4 games. That's a little more than 8 per game. That's an area certainly that needs cleaning up, and that's why Kirby's talked about discipline and composure all week long. And another number that the SEC keeps statistics on a lot of different categories, and one they have is opponent penalties. And I looking at that statistical category, LSU is number 1 in the opponent penalty categories. Which, if I'm reading this correctly, means LSU's opponents have the most penalties of any other teams in the SEC. Georgia's dead last, meaning their opponents are not penalized much at all. So if you read anything into that, and the fact that Georgia's had some issues with that, then you can kind of play some mind games in your head with that those numbers. But yeah, Georgia definitely has to play cleaner today, be disciplined, have composure, and we don't want to end up looking like Florida today in the Vanderbilt game. They're having all kinds of problems.
Yeah, they are. Last time we checked on the Comcast Business Scoreboard, Vanderbilt leading that game 21-20. They're in the third quarter. Also, third quarter score, Tennessee on top of Auburn down on the Plain, 27-17. Volunteers with the lead. Interesting stat, Scott Howard, that jumped out at me this week. Georgia has fumbled 10 times this season, but we've lost only 1. The case in point is the TD by Brian Harrion that we just heard a minute ago was actually a fumble recovery by Harrion. Will old lady Luck catch up with us and the Sunday hops that we've been afforded so far this season?
Well, the law of averages says, if we keep putting the ball on the field, on the grass, on the plastic synthetic turf, it's going to catch up with us. We're going to start losing some of those things. We've been fortunate thus far to only lose the one fumble. Georgia right now is third in the league in turnover margin, so they've done a good job in creating those turnovers as well. And then, of course, our number aided by the fact that we haven't lost fumbles. But that's certainly, as we talk about penalties, that's another area that Georgia continues to work on and try to clean up, is protecting that football.
All right, thank you, Scott. Looking forward to your call tonight. Coach Kirby's smart, exclusive Inside Skinny on tonight's Top 20 SEC matchup. He'll be back with Scott less than 20 minutes from now on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Did you know Georgia is one of the leading producers of pecans in the entire world? That's how hard Georgia farmers work to help cultivate the state's economy. And that's why Georgia Farm Bureau cultivates farmers with agricultural research and assistance programs and access to benefits that save families money, like home and auto insurance. You can join online for just a few bucks a year. So, get cracking.
Strong, dependable, ready for anything. The University of Georgia Bulldogs know what it takes to make a great team, and your local Massey Ferguson dealers are proud to support them. Take on the season with Massey Ferguson compact and utility tractors. They mow, load, handle hay, and more, all while delivering more of the power and versatility you've come to expect from Massey Ferguson. Experience the compact and utility tractors that will take you through the season strong. Visit GeorgiaMasseyDealers.com to learn more.
The Dogs are heard right here. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
In football, a triple threat is a player who can do it all. For barbecue, Dreamland is a triple threat. You can dine in, carry out, or let us cater your next event. For the ultimate tailgating experience, nothing beats a rack of legendary Dreamland ribs with your favorite sides. If you got a taste for winning, treat your team to Dreamland. There ain't nothing like 'em nowhere. A proud supporter of the Georgia Bulldogs.
At PT Solutions Physical Therapy, we're proud to be an official partner of UGA. In sports, getting to the next level takes lots of talent and lots of work. At PT Solutions, we believe that every young athlete deserves the opportunity to chase his or her dream. That's why you'll find our therapists and trainers on the fields and sidelines at every level, helping athletes stay healthy and be at their best. We hope you'll visit us at over 40 Georgia locations or at ptsolutions.com.
Setting the table for Dogs football.
Bounces out right, still running. 10, 5, pylon, touchdown!
You're listening to the Napa Tailgate Show.
Man in motion to the near side, that's Hartman. Fromm looks to the right, whips it back to the left to Swift. Wide open the left flat. Swift 30, 25, veers in, 15, 10, 5.
He won't be touched! Touchdown! DeAndre Swift! Wide open in the left flat, and he just cruises into the end zone.
Third quarter TD connection between Jake Fromm and DeAndre Swift last Saturday between the hedges. Here's a tasty morsel from Dave McMahon of UGAsports.com. In second half play this year, Jake Fromm has completed 23 of 27 pass attempts with 5 touchdown throws and 0 interceptions. McMahon points out this means that Fromm in second halves this season has more touchdown passes than incompletions.
That's really unbelievable. And the way this entire offensive unit has performed in second halves of football games, you've just seen it. The way we've come out of the locker room, when we've had the opportunity to get the first drive in third quarters, we've just taken over football games. It's been tremendous execution. I think in part it's why so many in the Bulldog Nation are concerned about the way we're starting football games. They'd like to see that level of execution throughout the entire game. Wouldn't we all? But there's no question that this team, the adjustments that we've been making and the execution coming out of the locker room have been as good as anybody in the country.
That's Eric Zier, and his game plan is brought to you by Country Financial. Protecting what's important to you and preparing for your financial future doesn't have to be complicated. Take it one simple step at a time at TakeSimpleSteps.com. All right, you're tuned into the official Tailgate show of the Georgia Bulldogs, the Napa Tailgate Show. And this past week, one reporter noted that Justin Fields hasn't seen many minutes on the road as in Sanford Stadium during his rookie season.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. Justin handles the offense and the communication really well. I think it's been more the fact that's been the last 2 weeks we've been at home. So it's more recent memory than anything else.
Sounds like Coach Smart wasn't peddling pablum there. How much do you expect to see Justin in a tight contest today in Death Valley, Z?
I think we're at a point in the season, Hondo, that regardless of what the flow of the game looks like, if there are opportunities where with Justin being on the field, we have advantages, I think we're going to see him on the field. I think we're beyond that point here in his very young career that we want to protect him from certain teams or certain defenses or certain environments. I think you throw all that out the window. I think it really is. If we have a better chance at moving the football or taking advantage of what LSU was doing defensively with Justin on the field, I think you see him.
All right, well, any game plan for LSU will need to include a serious consideration of linebacker Devin White, a darned good one.
I told Roquan, I said, this guy is probably 10 pounds heavier than you, but just as fast. And he's an elite player, very good player, arguably one of the best in the conference at all positions.
Yeah, Devin White, 6'1", 240 pounds. He is flat out a force. Led the SEC in tackles last year. He's leading LSU with 53 tackles this year. He's got 6.5 tackles for a loss, 1 sack already on the season, 1 fumble recovery. You've got to know where he is because he is a one-man wrecking force. You got to get bodies on guys like that early in the game and often and just try to wear them down some.
All right, Z, great job. Thank you. The Tigers wear white at home. They warm up to our right as we sit on the 41-yard line on the Scana sideline on the Georgia team bench. Georgia gets to don red on the road in Baton Rouge. We'll see if that helps these two top 13 ranked teams today on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Life can be unpredictable. That's why having health insurance is so important to me.
When I'm covered, I can worry less and focus on staying healthy, like seeing my doctor for a yearly checkup.
And better from Peach State Health Plan is affordable health care coverage.
With a My Health Pays Rewards program, so I can take charge of my health and save money too.
I choose the plan that's right for me. Visit betterisga.com today.
This is a solicitation for insurance.
Well, the Oranges really need to capitalize here if they want to win the Family Room Championship. There's the snap. Hyper Blue is going for the blitz. Here's Energetic Orange, dropping back, looks long, throws, and touchdown! SW 6887 Naval with the 39-yard catch to defeat the Blues.
Ask Sherwin-Williams and bring home the color of your team spirit. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store today.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Those Southern Rays nationally acclaimed Georgia Bulldogs. The only thing better than being a legend is a Bulldog, and you're both. Whether you're in a classroom, a boardroom, resting your paws overseas, or in Sanford Stadium screaming your red and black hearts out, you are legends. Delta is proud to be the official airline of UGA Athletics, and we're ready to take you everywhere legends need to be. Now let's hear that chapel bell ring. Delta Airlines, keep climbing.
Hey Georgia fans, nothing brings people together like Bulldog football and a great meal. So huddle up with family and friends and join us on game days or during the week for one of our daily specials. Like all-you-can-eat Chicken Tender Tuesdays or Free Pie Wednesday. Just search for one of our 29 Georgia locations at ocharlies.com and run a route to the restaurant closest to you. With online ordering, you can even set up a time to pick up your meal to go. O'Charlie's, proud supporter of Georgia Bulldog football.
You're listening to Dogs Football. Now back to more of the Napa Tailgate Show.
Tyler takes it. He's coming back to pass. A bullet right down the middle. Incomplete. Kirby Smart broke up a play riding on the back of Larry Foster, the receiver, inside our 5-yard line.
Kirby Smart there. Wow, 12 tackles that day for Kirby as Georgia knocked off LSU here in Baton Rouge. Freshman quarterback Quincy Carter completed his first 15 passes that night. He finished the night 27 of 34 for 318 yards and 2 TDs as our 12th-ranked Bulldogs pulled off a stunning victory over LSU at night in Death Valley. Wow, it was really, really a great game. Champ Bailey played both ways for the Dogs. Those of you who know Champ Bailey from playing your video games or from his stellar Hall of Fame NFL career, Champ Bailey that night in Baton Rouge played 96 plays, 15 on special teams, 47 on defense, 34 on offense. He caught 7 passes for 114 yards and a touchdown. Really, really amazing. Let's check in now with our Comcast Business Scoreboard. End of 3 in Nashville. Vanderbilt leads Florida 21-20 as the Commodores are hanging on. Early in the fourth quarter, Ohio State leading Minnesota 20-14. Third-ranked Buckeyes getting all they can handle out of the Golden Gophers today. 21st ranked Auburn is at home. They're losing by 10, 27-17 to Tennessee. That's at the end of 3. Fourth quarter score, Nebraska trying to earn its first victory of the season. 28-21 Cornhuskers lead at Northwestern. Kansas State on top of Oklahoma State 17-12. They're in the fourth. Late in the third quarter in Atlanta, Duke leads Georgia Tech 14-10, and Boston College has rallied back to take a lead on Louisville 24-20 BC. They are in the third quarter. That is your Comcast Business Scoreboard. Comcast Business, beyond fast. Well, if you've joined us late today, you may be wondering why you haven't heard Lauren Smith's lilt on the airwaves. He joins us now from home. And Lauren, please give those who are just joining us a quick recap of your attempted tackle and your resulting injury at the Georgia practice this week.
Well, I've said this a lot of times since it happened before, actually, of getting out of the way of those guys who play football, but I didn't do enough last week on Monday. I moved downfield when I saw them coming my way on the previous play, but the next play they came with such alacrity. They came into my lap and I suffered. But everything's been great. Just had the best care. I had the best surgeon possible. And I feel really good, Neil. I have not had any pain. I'm able to do anything I want to do. Although I don't like being indoors. I don't like being in the bed a lot. But I'm really okay. And I expect it to be business as usual come Monday. I figured out how I'm going to get to the office. And I figured out how I'm going to get to work. Open date will fit just fine. And I'm okay. I mentioned the lady earlier in the broadcast, Pam McKinley. I mispronounced her name, but I want to forget her. She's been great, been with me all day today. And you just can't have better home health care than what I've gotten through Piedmont Hospital. And for a guy who's ailing, I'm in good shape.
Well, Lauren, we're glad that you're all right. More than anything else, we know the Bulldog Nation has been concerned. Fernando Velasco just walked by. One of our analysts just walked by and said, "How are you guys doing this without Lauren?" I said, "I'm about to talk to him again." He just laughed. He goes, "That Lauren, he's going to be on the air with you." Yep. So everybody's happy to hear that you're doing well, and we're just happy that you're safe and sound. And in your 45 seasons since you created the Tailgate Show, have you ever missed a game?
No. The last game I missed was 1971. That was because I had a business assignment. I wasn't at Georgia for the time. I wasn't on the staff. And New Year's Day, the holiday fell on Saturday, the 31st. So the Gator Bowl played their game on Saturday, I think it was, and I missed that. That's the last one.
Wow. Okay. Number 2, Georgia. Number 13, LSU. Death Valley. A meeting of year-long anticipation for the Bulldog Nation. And one of those opponents and places you just might want to watch out what you wish for.
From everything I've heard, it's supposed to be an electric place to play in. And they really got the home field advantage. They got a great fan base. And I heard it's, a crazy environment.
Oh, it's a crazy environment. There's Georgia tight end Isaac Nauta, and Scott Howard joins us now along with Eric Zier and Lauren Smith. Scott, what makes playing in Baton Rouge special?
probably all those crawfish and alligators and swamp people that are just covering the field. They're everywhere. Food that destroys your esophagus. No, it's just it's an electric atmosphere. I mean, it's not boring at all in any way, shape, or form. If you're a football player, I mean, this is the kind of crowd you want to play in front of, the kind of atmosphere you want to experience. You know, it's like the old Roman gladiators. If there are only a couple of people in there, you know, a guy's giving you a golf clap every now and then, it's not going to motivate you a whole lot. But these guys come in, and it's motivation, it's electricity, it's excitement from the get-go for every team that comes in here, and certainly for the home team, for LSU. They get to experience this 6 or 7 times a year.
Lauren, your thoughts on playing in Death Valley?
Well, it's a very tough place to play, but playing anywhere on the road is really tough, and that's why you got to find a way to win those games. If you want to win a championship, you got to be able to win on the road. I've seen some very good performances in Baton Rouge. It's interesting that we've broken even there. LSU's broken even in Athens. The difference in the series has to do with games played in the SEC Championship and in World War II. So it's been pretty even through the years, but the Ole Miss will tell you, they've come to Baton Rouge with a very good team and have gone home with a tail between the legs.
Well, for Georgia today marks the first of 4 straight games that are scheduled against top 25 competition, all in the conference. After LSU, we get a week off, then take on number 14 Florida in Jacksonville, 18th ranked Kentucky in Lexington, and finish the brutal stretch against 21st ranked Auburn in Athens.
It's tough everywhere in the SEC. Go talk to Tennessee and ask them the road they're dealing with. Go talk to LSU. They just played Florida. I mean, there's no time to cry about it. Nobody wants to hear that. I mean, you got to get ready to go play.
That's Coach Kirby Smart talking about the gauntlet that we're just about to enter into, and that's exactly what it is. You just rolled off all the top 25 ranked teams that we've got to go play. We're playing in a hostile environment today. Kentucky, with the year that they're having, is going to be a hostile environment when we get up to Big Blue country. But if you're going to be the best, you've got to beat the best. And we're going to know where this football team is after today. We've got a pretty good feel right now, but you come in and you play a team that's top 15 in the country. They've been top 10 all year, for the most part, all year long until last week. This team is athletic that we're playing. They are big, they are physical, and they know how to get after you. The Dogs come out of here with a victory. It's going to be well-earned, and we'll know exactly where this version of the Bulldogs stand.
Well, Scott, I'd like your take on that, too. How much tougher will our bevy of skill players find the going today against the Bayou Bengals compared to previous 2018 competition?
It could be a bit of a challenge. I mean, LSU is kind of loaded up on defense like Georgia is, as far as in the secondary. Greedy Williams is one of the best corners in the league. We hear a lot about him. Grant Delpit, the strong safety, another guy that has those same kind of credentials. Devin White, Kirby Smart says he might be the best defensive player in the Southeastern Conference. White is a linebacker for LSU, led the league in tackles last season, and is on his way to possibly doing that again this year. So they're sprinkled with very, very talented defensive players. So that's going to be fun matchups to watch our skill guys against their defenders today.
All right, well done, gents. Lauren, we hope that you have a good weekend, starting with a win today and then another one out of the Red Sox tonight. Thank you, gentlemen. We're creeping up toward kickoff. Coach Kirby Smart joins us next with the Inside Skinny on today's SEC Extravaganza, Georgia LSU Bulldogs Sports Network.
When this is the sound of a waterfall in nature, there's no cause for concern. But when it's the sound of water gushing through your living room ceiling because a pipe bursts inside the wall, there's reason to panic unless you pick up the phone and call 1-800-SERVPRO. Only the cleanup and restoration specialists at ServPro can help make fire and water damage like it never even happened. So make the call to 1-800-ServPro at the first sign of water damage. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
Whether you're an elite athlete, in youth sports, or a weekend warrior, the Northside Hospital Sports Medicine Network keeps you in the game and ready for action. Our team of experts offers a full range of sports medicine services to prevent and treat injuries and improve performance. With 10 locations in the Atlanta region, the Northside Hospital Sports Medicine Network is in your neighborhood. For details, call 1-855-NH-SPORT. That's 1-855-NH-SPORT.
Don't go anywhere. The Dogs are coming right back. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
FAST is the nation's largest gig speed network. Beyond FAST is the complete reliability of 4G LTE backup. That means whether you're downloading big files, swiping credit cards, or emailing your sales team or customers, your business can go on even if the power goes out. When you're a business owner, you need speed and reliability. For a limited time, make the switch to Comcast Business and get an amazing deal on fast, reliable internet. Just one more way Comcast Business goes beyond AT&T. Get started with 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month when you add 2 voice mobility lines. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 11/21/18. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment taxes and fees extra, subject to change. Connection Pro backup limited to up to 6 hours.
Perfect way to begin your Georgia football Saturday.
Kick is blocked! The kick is blocked! It's no good! It's no good!
Welcome back to the Napa Tailgate Show.
Moving to the left, play fake from. He'll set up in the pocket, all kinds of time to throw, going deep. He's going for Godwin. Godwin is there, over the shoulder catch at the 30, down to the 20, down to the 15, down to the 10. They tried to strip the ball. He stays on his feet. He avoids a man at the 3 and gets into the end zone. Touchdown on a terrific finish by Terry Godwin. Welcome back to the Bulldogs Tailgate Show. We're back with Georgia head coach Kirby Smart as the Bulldogs and the LSU Tigers get set to kick it off here momentarily. How was your week of practice in preparation for LSU today?
We've had a great week, very spirited week of practice. Guys really seem locked in, focused. I think, it's needless to say when there's a more formidable opponent, guys tune in a little better and they listen a little harder and they practice a little harder. It shouldn't be that way, but sometimes it is. And the guys have been locked in this week.
You'd mentioned earlier in the week about some injuries and a couple to your defensive line. What does your line look like today? Who you have available for you on the defensive front today?
We really got everybody that we've had the last games. Daquan's been out for a couple weeks. David Marshall's the biggest significant injury. He's got a foot injury and don't know how long he'll be out, but it happened in last week's game. So he's really the only guy missing.
You feel pretty good otherwise about the health of your team?
I think so. Solomon's had a good week, and he should be good to go today. Andrew's still got some lingering things from the ankles that bother him sometimes, but he's been able to push through it in practice some. So we'll see how the guys go. I know they got some guys beat up. We all do in the SEC. It's a tough physical league.
Yeah, 6 games in, and this is number 7 without a break. It's constant bashing out there every Saturday, isn't it?
Physical game, and we practice physical and just believe in that. And when you do that, you got guys with dings and bumps and bruises. But our kids are tough. They got to push through those.
What do you want to do today to have success? Anything different from what you've done in the previous 6 weeks?
Well, the recipe is always the same. We want to be explosive on offense. We don't want to turn it over. We want to limit explosive plays defensively. I think we got to keep composure today. When you go on the road and play in the SEC, we've shown examples all week of teams imploding, making mistakes, not handling, playing on the road well, and that's the most important thing to me is that our kids go play our best game.
You had penalties against Vanderbilt last week. How were those addressed this week in practice, and what did you see as the reason for those in the video of last week's game?
Yeah, we try to be technical about everything we do and explain why it happened, what you did wrong to do it that way, and how to correct it, and making a heightened awareness for the guys to understand what it actually cost the team when it happens.
What are you most pleased about the way you've played thus far?
Well, I'm pleased with how they've responded when their backs have been against the wall. When we have to have a drive, they've been able to pull it out. Haven't played with the consistency that we need to, but I'm very pleased with the effort and toughness the guys have played with.
The response in just about every moment has been good from your guys. Last week, Vanderbilt scored first for the first time this season. Georgia trailed for a very brief moment, but you immediately answered. Is that something that's just kind of ingrained in these guys? When you're pushed up against the wall, they're going to react?
I don't know about that. I think it hadn't been an opportunity. We had a couple games where we scored first on defense, so it just hasn't gone that way. But our guys like to compete. We don't look at the scoreboard. It's not about the scoreboard. We don't care about that throughout the game. We just want to be more physical than the guy across from you. And if you don't think about the scoreboard and you think about being more physical, it usually leads to good things.
And finally, a couple of keys again for today's game.
Biggest key is not giving up big plays and being able to make them. Also making good decisions with our team with composure.
Kirby, thanks very much. Good luck against LSU. We'll talk to you a little bit later.
Thanks.
All right, that's Coach Kirby Smart. And Hondo, we'll send it back to you for more of the Bulldogs Tailgate Show.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Thank you, Coach. It's kind of crazy here in Death Valley, man. This place is enormous. They have done all kinds of renovations and additions since the last time we were here, and one of the end zones that we're looking at right now, so that'd be the south end zone, man. It just goes on for level after level after level. Over the past 31 years, Georgia and LSU have met 13 times. On 10 of those occasions, both teams were ranked in the top 18 in the nation. Our last collision here in Baton Rouge 10 years ago, resulted in our 9th-ranked Bulldogs defeating number 11 Louisiana State by 2 touchdowns. We'll hear a couple of great highlights from that upset in 2 minutes. We're less than 1 hour from kickoff, an SEC bloodbath on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
There's savings, and then there's big savings. The kind of savings you can always find at your neighborhood Kroger. With low prices and delicious choices. Plus personalized coupons and ClickList to help you shop and save anytime from anywhere. So you get more for less at Kroger.
Say hello to new lower prices and weekly sale prices too, like red or white seedless grapes for 98 cents a pound with card. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
On game day, you are the MVP, Most Valuable Party Planner. Because you've got Kroger on your team, and you save big on an awesome spread. Delectable dips, wings with a kick, savory sliders. Yep, you've got buffet bragging rights, and you're scoring with low prices. So get ready to savor victory with those delicious Kroger Game Day Greats, where food and fans unite. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Goal line situation. Would you rather space your defenders 20 feet apart or line them up shoulder to shoulder? This is exactly like termite protection. Place those bait stations 20 feet apart or have a complete unbroken liquid barrier protecting your home. Neil Hondo Williamson here for the more cost-effective way to treat your house. It's Breda Pest Management. Get better termite protection and more value, all for a better price with Breda Pest Management. Visit BREDAPest.com.
Core Power is the official protein drink of the Dogs. Fueled by 26 grams of Fairlife's one-of-a-kind protein, your workout will never go to waste. Perfect for your gym bag or great for game day. Don't forget to pick up your favorite Core Power to recover better. Want to win the ultimate college football experience? Go to winwithcorepower.com to enter Core Power sweepstakes. You could win a trip for 2 to a Division I college football game during rivalry weekend. Go Dogs!
This is Georgia Bulldogs football.
35-30, he's got a convoy, he's gonna go, touchdown!
Now back to more of the Napa Tailgate Show.
A work out of the shotgun. Jarrett Lee, the quarterback, takes the snap in the pocket, will throw it down the middle. Oh, it's intercepted! Darrell Gamble picked it off at the 50, Gamble to the 30, Gamble to the 20, Gamble to the house! He dives! Touchdown! Darrell Gamble! His second of the day! Toss it to Noshawn Marino. Runs to the middle of the line. Hesitates. Breaks the tackle. Noshawn 45, 50, 45, 40, 35. Nobody's going to catch him. Noshawn, touchdown! 68 yards. Noshawn Marino.
10 years later, we are back in Baton Rouge for the first time since Darrell Gamble, with his second pick six of the day, sealed Georgia's shocking 52-38 upset of then 6th-ranked LSU right here in Death Valley. On the first play of that game, Gamble intercepted a pass, took it back 40 yards for a score. Then he doubled down on the play you just heard late in the fourth quarter and gave the 9th-ranked Dogs plenty of cushion for the road win. Matty Stafford with 249 yards and 2 TDs through the air that day. Noshawn, 172 yards on the ground, including the 68-yard TD jaunt you just heard. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Bulldog Sports Network. We have played some doozies against LSU over the past 40 years, including 3 matchups for the SEC championship in the old Georgia Dome. Hopefully we'll get a great game and a red and black victory today in Tiger Stadium. Thanks for tuning in today, and thanks to Tony Schiavone for engineering our Napa Tailgate show, Chris Schiavone for his assistance here on the Scana sideline. For Scott Howard, Lauren Smith, and Eric Zier, this is Neil Hondo Williamson. The Ford Drive to Kickoff with Scott, Eric, and Chuck Dowdle is coming up next. Then top 13 SEC action as Georgia and LSU collide. Drink will flow and blood will spill at 3:39. I'll talk to you again at halftime. This is the Bulldog Sports Network.